What's the point of cricket?
Boys.
Why do you do it?
Great cricket is a prison.
We're going to look at the perils of sweeping.
We're the good cricketers, the great cricketers, real brand.
Dipsy's head.
If you're going to do it to England.
Well, he's out now. We got 40.
Here we are. We did it. We made it to the start of the Ashes before GTA 6 and before we all completed ourselves online with insane patriotism. And what a battery. Tweets, DMs, clapbacks, darts and arrows. Hazelwood's at the glue factory, but how long for? Who is Brendan Doggett? What is it? Who plays where? Which tests and in which formation? Is it slug? Is it green? Is it Weatherall? Do we need to worry about Travis Head's numbers? Doesn't matter when you've got Rodney Hogg out there defending the nation. England's much maligned warm-up at Lalor Kill was met with excellent commentary from the locals. Insta reels of Stokesy's fifer in between calling the past players has-beens. Monty's playing mind games with Smith and possibly with himself. And Ravi Bopara lets us know what the Ashes is. Pete Lalor and Gideon Haigh from Cricket et al. Join us on the couch to add some texture to us squawking like idiots about who's going to do what and why. The next generation, Ollie Peake and Campbell Kellaway, are also on the show to add some future-proofing safety to our ears. There's also India shit-tipping themselves out of another test against South Africa. Bavuma's buckets, the wagon and the heart of the Rainbow Nation. WBBL, what's getting you hot? AskTGC, this is it, Pezza. The biggest series of all of our lives. We made it. We did it. Bring it on.
And Australians this week, he goes, discovered the worst hyphenated word in the English language, re-imaging. Re-imaging. We thought when Smudge just said disappear, you're gone, get off, we thought Alpha. That's fine. Yeah. Woody in trouble. Hoff good to go. No, re-imaging has killed him. Look, I'm just going to put it out there.
Okay.
The question has to be asked. Is the perfect storm forming? He goes, I'm asking the question as an information exchange. I'm not necessarily saying I'm on that side. Right? It's going to be the worst 6 weeks online of all time, so I'm not saying anything. But
yeah,
it's like, have the heavens opened? Is the sea parting? The bush horse goes lame in the race.
Yeah.
A gap opens in the pack. It creates an angle and an opening for England. All of a sudden, Australia are a team whose top order has struggled, who've had their asses covered by bowlers, half of which are now injured. Warner spoke about Joe Root with the surfboard on the front pad to Pat Cummins, who had a better record against Joe Root. The bush horse, injured. Hoff out, Wood in. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Perth hosted Metallica recently on those decks. Get off the fucking deck. It's meant to be mid-20s this week in Perth. The bomb's against us now. We don't even have the harsh light of Perth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Is the perfect storm forming? The proclamations of the 4 or 5-0 merchants, have just gone a little quieter. Here you go, England. Here you go. Here's your chance. And here's what you had to say with what's getting you hot.
Are you available, Josh? Nay. A lame skipper. A lame bush horse. You boys are in trouble. No runs at the top of the order. Stars aligning for England. That's getting me real hot, fellas. 5-0 England. Here we go.
G'day boys, what's gotten me hot is the fact that Hoff 1 second is alright and the next minute he's injured for the first test, which is absolutely fucking brilliant news. No captain come-ins, no bush horse, he's been off the feedback, taken around the back and put down because he's lame. Joff, Woody and the boys are going to be DX cross-chopping their way across the Optus Stadium and it's going to be 1-0, fuck off, thank you very much. And if you ain't down with that, then we got 2 words for you. Suck it. Australia line innings.
Weirdest thing happened this morning. Opened the curtains, looked outside, and there was a horse. A wild horse. Just limping. What's happened to your cartel, fellas? Bush horse, more like Eeyore.
Time for the old bush horse to be taken to the glue factory. 5-0, fuck off.
what's getting me hot? Ooh, Hoff's hammy. Ooh, Sabba's hammy. Enjoy the weekend down at the Chloe with Captain Cumstain. Enjoy the meat raffle, boy.
Forget doctors versus nurses. Can we get them to work together to fix the fucking bush horse?
And here comes Dogger, the fucking greyhound, down the main straight.
Stat Dogger. Woof woof. Talk about a nicotine stiffy.
What's getting me hot? June whipping home ponies on the pod. Go, Rhinestone. Get up 'em, Rhinestone. Yeah, I'm a changed man now. Don't go, Jake.
Carrie, what did your stumping do? Hello, officer, what can I do for you?
Well, English fans rightfully buoyed. Rightfully buoyed.
Hearing plenty from them this week.
Rightfully so.
I was actually at my son Barney's, like a friend had a birthday party on the weekend, and I hadn't met the parents before, and about 3/4 of an hour into the party, the news had just broken. One of them just seen their phones going, Dale, Hazelwood's out. It's like, yes, a couple of English people. I think they're Irish actually, so that was a different issue. But
weird, yeah.
But still, I mean, that's where we're at.
Yeah, or does it make it even better for Australian fans when a guy they've never fucking heard of takes 8 for?
Look, I guess time will tell.
I guess we'll see.
I guess time will tell.
Okay, well, we always like to start in grade cricket circles. A couple of items caught my eye this week, Pezza. So there was an article in The Guardian detailing the experience of local players bowling and facing England in the nets.
Time on a tradition.
Here's what it said. Joe Root, one of the late arrivals from New Zealand, and Jamie Smith, who also landed on Sunday after a family holiday in Dubai, did an extended session in the nets facing mainly spin bowling. Shoaib Bashir provided some of it, along with a few local players. Brackets, at the end of this session, one of them said he had been underwhelmed by the experience, observing that, quote, they're not even that good. 1-0 Australia.
A mate of mine bowled to the English it's got to be 2006 or something like that, or maybe, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
And maybe 2010, 11. And he was left arm orthodox, and he was just like, Monty Panesar has the longest fingers I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
I feel like that's usually what happens when you net bowl these guys. You just like, it's the genetic blessings that really are bestowed upon you. You know, that's what you're left with. I don't know any net bowler who's gone like, I don't know about these.
But I like that it's been said.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, I caught up with a couple of friends of mine at one of our book events, the book event in Sydney, in fact, and one guy that I play with, he played at Sydney Uni before I played with him. But he sent me a couple of images from the Sydney Uni annual report of 98-99, of course, his Indeed Bible, referring to Andrew Strauss, who played Sydney Uni, of course, great cricket. He also went back to Mossman a couple of years later.
Sure.
But started at Sydney Uni in 98-99. Now, Trent, you can put this on screen here. That's the second grade player stats. Okay. So he's played 3 games in second grade Straussy. High score 23, 37 runs in total, averaging 12.3.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's Straussy. So he's played second grade. Now, he also played third grade.
Yep.
Wow. Where he did turn up in 3 innings, average 138 in third grade, to be fair.
So he did dominate that grade.
And posted better numbers than our friend Ed Cowan. So,
a little drive on Cowan there. Cowan played threes.
Cowan played threes,
and now, so that's 98-99. Cowan would have been about 14 years old. Or 15, yeah. Okay.
So there's more good stuff there. All good stuff.
There was an article on the weekend saying that while the Aussies were flying to Perth, Sam Konstas was playing PGs.
Yes, he was,
and made 17
runs.
You know? And he made 70 the day before in ones, 70 odd, but didn't in PGs, that's a time on a tradition as well. That's just beers. And that suggests good things to me as far as Konstas is concerned. 100%. Shout out Andrew McDonald as well, who opened the batting with his son Ollie for North Geelong fourths over the weekend. Ronnie, and they put on 100 runs. Ronnie cruising a 64 red in a 9-wicket win. Ollie with 50 odd and 3 for as well.
That's great.
So you know, like it's not just like you could scarcely ask for a better vibe as a father than putting on 100 with your son. I'd say. So it's not Bazball aren't the only owners of vibes. So I'd say Ronnie's cruising into camp there, feeling pretty good.
Just questioning Usman's place at the top of the order. You know, Ronnie's just strummed 60 on the weekend with his boy. Yeah,
not to his face.
Hey. If you want to come and see TGC live, looking forward to seeing you guys in Perth. There's only one place where you can still buy tickets, and that is in Melbourne for our second show. Special guest Fergus O'Neill. There's roughly 100 tickets left. How right?
Will Fergus be there?
Well, yeah, I guess we'll see.
I did say that on the phone to him.
So, greycricketer.com for your tickets. Now, we're seeing you guys in Perth on Thursday night, the night before the test. The energy is going to be extraordinary. We want you to bring your absolute best. Mike Hussey on stage, of course, joining us. Will it be Mike or will it be Maurice? Or will it be Mick? I don't know.
What Huss with 1,000 words in the Age overnight, just on England's strengths and weaknesses.
Or just one picture.
Well, exactly. So I was actually pretty disappointed to see actual analysis of the game from us. I'd prefer cultural jibes from my ex-players, to be honest. So
we will be getting into
none of that on Thursday.
Every other show is sold out, so thank you so much. We've never sold this many tickets before ball's even bowled. So looking forward to seeing you guys in Perth on Thursday night. Hey, good news, Pezza, for us. We have the #1 sports book in the country. There's 4 reviews on Booktopia, all from Daphne B. Which is probably just an issue of just pressing submit 4 times, but so that's good. I had a nice email from Rob as well. Said your book reflects on what not fully formed blokes in their teens to 20s get up to. It's incredibly well observed and finishes with how things are changing. Kudos, kind regards, Rob. That's a nice email to come in.
Time for Christmas presents. It's there. We went into we did the thing. We went into Dimmicks and saw the book, couple of copies, and put them in different places like religion and spirituality and business and, with spaces between the ha's.
That's right. So thank you to everyone that's made our book the #1 sports book in the country already this week. Thank you so much. You can buy it at greycricketer.com or Booktopia, or if you're overseas, readings. Again, there's a link at our website on the description of this show. Now, if you want to join Patreon a la TGC Raw, and you want to hear Charlie absolutely slaughter us and describe the cows he's met in his life, then you want to sign up to Patreon or TGC Raw, patreon.com/Grey Cricketer. There's also been a couple of 10-minute teasers heading into Fridays last month or so, I suppose. So you get a little taste of it there. If you want more TGC in your ears, an hour extra a week with TGC Raw, answering your questions, the looseness, the darkness, the rawness of cricket, and indeed life. And also Charlie having an absolute stormer. Best on ground last week, Chuck. Well done.
Well, when you talk about farms, then that's when that's when the boy comes to play.
Wasted Saturdays, keep sending in those clips in. All right, let's talk about the Ashes, Pezza. Of course, no ad breaks in play and in 4K on Fox Cricket. You've got Gilly, you've got Kerry, Junior, Howie, Vaughan, Warner, all the greats of the game.
Isha.
Will TGC be there? I guess we'll see. Only on Fox Cricket, including on KO Sports. Ad break free during play and live in 4K. Hazelwood's at the glue factory, as Pezza alluded to before. Now, he did have one scan. He was playing the SEG Shield game against the Vicks. Vicks did the business. 4 from 4 from the Vicks. Very interesting. Okay. Hazelwood had a scan, and here's what his doctor had to say.
The doctor said it was the best result he has ever seen as a doctor.
Now, what's happened since then is that we don't know if he'll ever play again. He's missed 13 of the last 30 tests in Australia, but he still plays in the IPL. Isn't that interesting? The exact thing, when Cummins' injury was announced, what we were really worried about is Hazelwood going to play? Because he hasn't played much in the last 5 years, I think.
And then the right kind of injury we wanted.
And the exact thing has happened that we were scared of. Perfect Storm stuff. George Clooney, a wonderful movie, goes out to sea.
I mean, Trump has declared a war on cartels.
Yes, yeah.
And in the World War II old-timey voice, and don't the kids love it, but replace kids with English people.
Yeah.
It's and he was bowling so well too, Hoff. He was bowling so well. He was purring, the feed bag was strapped on.
He was nearly unplayable in the white ball series.
Yep.
Nearly.
I noticed, the love of cricket, for the Love of Cricket podcast, and we do all have a love of cricket, we do it for the love of cricket.
Mm-hmm.
They were, memeing it up, stay calm, England, like they're watching. They're watching over there.
Mm-hmm.
But, in comes Brendan Doggett.
Yep.
And what did Dizzy say? What did Dizzy say about him? Got a good motor. He's a greyhound and he's fit as a fiddle.
Oh.
All right, I'll take that. As long as you can ascribe an animal to him.
Yes.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
And he does triathlons. That's what. This is the problem with Doggett coming in now, and I'm all for it. Don't get me wrong. It's a toy in its shapes.
Yep.
It's going to be a face you don't recognise, but it's going to be chiselled because he does triathlons and he's generally an elite athlete.
Used to be a chippy.
Okay, perfect. That plays into the cultural differences.
Yeah.
He's a chippy. He's Indigenous as well, which is awesome. 2 Indigenous players going up against the Palms. Rate that highly. From Warramai, is a Warramai man as well. So you're talking North Coast as well. So just a bit of North Coast stuff, which is helpful for Australia. I mean, I'm clutching a bit, but
it's from the North Coast.
It's a shape. It's a nice shape. It's some sort of wheels. We'll decide when we see it. We're going to have to get used to some shapes when it bowls, but his numbers are good.
Mm-hmm.
And I suppose like one of the undercurrent conversations in Australian cricket is depth. There's been a lot of talk about the bullpen, the depth of the Australian bowling lineup and Australian cricket generally. Yep. Well, now we get to find out. It's 190 poles in 50 first class games, 25 or so.
Yep.
I mean, I'll have a look at it.
Yeah, I didn't need to find out the depth of the bowlers. I was just happy with it being there, but not being called upon. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, we've got heaps of depth. Oh yeah, there's heaps of guys coming through.
Yeah, there's opportunities within it as well. So, I mean, this is Advantage England, isn't it? So this is Perth, and they've got to go 1-0 up. But we've learnt that some maths are more important than others,
That's
and
right.
the first up victory carries more weight.
Definitely.
Drive for show, putt for dough kind of thing. Every shot has the same value. But not when it comes to Ashes cricket.
Yeah. So he was first named in an Australian squad 7 years ago, just after the sandpaper fiasco. He's played for Queensland from Toowoomba areas before moving to South Australia the past 4 years. So there's that. So he's been in and around for he's been next cab for maybe 18 months as well. But
they like it.
Oh yeah. This is like no Cummins and Hazelwood. You're getting into like worst case scenarios heading into a series.
Big time.
I would still, and maybe it's just clutching, I'm just really happy we've got a guy from the North Coast. No, I'd prefer that than Smith and Head missing, because I think there is better resourcing in the bowling department than there is in the batting. I'm not saying either is good. I'm just saying, like, I still...
Yeah. Here's something that would be worse than this. Just to underscore, this isn't the worst thing. I can think of one worse thing.
Well, what I am saying is that I think Australia will still win.
I mean, yeah, sorry.
Whereas if Smith and Head weren't playing, I'd be like, that makes it tough. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, totally. I mean, I'm a turn the TV on first ball. I will be kind of rattled if it and Lord, God forbid any of us are that.
Well,
yeah. If anything other than a processional style victory doesn't take place, but but I got to say, like, it only absence does make the heart grow fonder. Like it only takes an injury or two like this to be like, yeah, I do think the foundations of this team's success has been like we've just lost 66% of that.
Yeah,
it is the like it has been the pace guys.
Yeah,
so,
and
it's not like we're bringing in like Stuart Clark, for example. It's not like a Stuart is like, well, he will come in and do the business straight away. And I think a new guy coming into bowl against the way these guys bat will take a bit of getting used to as well. Yep. So, it's an opening for the Palms, I'd say.
Certainly is. No question about that.
And knowing England and the way this team plays, they'll go after him.
Yeah.
They'll test him out.
Look, one way I do think that one of the ways that England have a path to victory in the series, generally speaking,
like but fucking US presidential campaign.
But they got to get the votes. But like Australia's batting. We actually saw this in the series against India in England in the summer just past, where England's lower order batting added a lot of runs. Now, they're playing a different type of cricket, what it's going to be in Australia. Of course it is because of the decks and whatnot, but India's tail just never wags at any point, and they actually end up costing themselves a test match or two in that series. Now, Australia with Starc at 8, Boland 9, Lyon 10, Doggett will bat 11. I think he averages 8 or 9 in first-class cricket with the bat. So it's a long tail, lack of contributions, really. It does make it a little more difficult. That's why I was interested in why Nisa was not picked in the original squad, because, I mean, Short Abbott is obviously going to miss the first test match at least. We spoke about this before, concussion subs, they like it, utility, bit of both. If Slug or Green get hit, for instance, then Abbott would be a likely replacement. He averages 30 with the ball, 24 with the bat in first-class cricket. Nisa wasn't in that squad, which I found interesting, but Nisa has been brought into this squad. He's 23 with the ball and 28 with the bat in first-class cricket. So that, I think, adds a little bit more depth. I don't think Nisa's going to play, but anyway, I suppose it's an interesting one, but... and Jai Richardson as well, named in the CA 11. He's been bowling for Fremantle the last couple of weeks. They like that. We obviously saw Jai bowl really nicely 4 years ago in Adelaide with the pink ball. Last time Nisa played a test match, I think it would have been, in that pink ball test match as well. So there's that. And I guess now we're looking at, like, does this have an impact on the rest of the side in terms of the makeup with Weatherall and Green and Webster? Fascinating shield round, I suppose, in that Green did bowl 16 overs, took one for, looked like he bowled quite quickly as well. He also scored 94, and then Bo Webster no runs, but takes 8 wickets, well, including head and carry for Tassie.
I do think what happened in the last round of Shield really cuts to the core of Australian cricket thinking, because here we were hoping that Slug, as the guy to prop up the attack, who are ailing and fragile and old and dead, could show some wherewithal with the ball. So he turns up and he says, "I'll take 8 for," and we go, "Hello, that's good."
What's all this then?
But then it's like, are you taking Slug 8 wickets versus Cam Green 8 overs, but at 140 clicks?
Yeah, perfect.
Like Slug 8 for, but Green 90 and bowling 140s. Good night, nurse. So I still think that. I still think they're going to... I think the argument for selecting Webster and Green wouldn't necessarily be for what they need in Perth. It would be to minimise... to basically share the workload, because they're such big believers over lasting 5 tests.
Yeah.
And being like, there is now such a watch on Mitch Starc's fitness that they might get another bowler in and believe that they can still get the job done across, if you share the workload.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that would be particularly defensive and conservative. I think that they'll go with 2 debutants. They'll go with Weatherall at the top, and they'll go with Doggett. And I think that's because they would still believe that bowling is the strength and that the batting is what needs to be lengthened.
Mm-hmm.
And Cam Green doing well with the bat, making 90 odd. Slug being shorter runs actually since he's come back, puts Green in front. So. But I can see the argument for both sides. I just I think that if you go with a whole ton of bowlers to share the workload, you're sort of robbing Peter to pay Paul a little bit.
Yeah.
And you just got to back your guys. You got to back the next cabs, and the next cabs are 2 guys that have been selected off the weight of being dominant in Sheffield Shield. You know, and it's their time. They're at that age. And let's see what they can do.
Yeah. There's no question that it certainly brings the 2 teams much closer together. It's sort of difficult. That's why we're so desperate to get the games going, because there's been so much talk.
To let the games begin?
To let the games begin.
It should be something like that.
From one Antonio Samaraj.
Jay Sharp.
I see, yeah. Well, he'll be there doing some slow-mo stuff, I'd imagine, at the back. Travis Head been posting the numbers recently. A few people have been posting Travis Head's numbers recently. Rick Finlay, of course, caught my eye with a tweet. Just quietly, Travis Head's last 20 innings in all forms of cricket, going back to June this year, his most recent last. 39, 29, 16, 22, 5, 19, 27, 6, 142, 31, 5, 8, 8, 28, 29, 28, 6, 9, 15. Only one score of more than 40, says Rick. So, could be a watch. Could also mean that maybe that boosts Cam Green's chances down at 6. Higher ceiling with the bat, I suppose.
Yeah, I do think there's something I think there's some mitigating factors there. I do think there's something to be said for these 3 format players and how transient the formats are for them. You know, like those numbers that you're reading out, like couldn't tell you which one's a red ball. I presume there's like most of them are white ball scores.
Well, the 142 was the one at Adelaide, I'm guessing, where Siraj sent him off. That'd be in that mix, wouldn't it?
Right. I don't know, probably. Yeah, I mean, do you know over how long those numbers have been around? You know, that could
Going
just
back
be
to
2 months.
June this year.
Right, so it wouldn't include Siraj then, right?
When did he 142?
Yeah, so I also just feel like it's sort of been established that like Head is Head has very high credentials in big games when he's needed.
Totally, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean he's a feel guy. I just I don't know. I just feel like I'd feel better if he wasn't playing at all, to be honest. You know,
Yeah.
Just, if he was just happy.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Joe Root will be a total failure in this series. His technique does not work in Australia, Rodney Hogg said to Channel 10. He's got 39 test match tons and averages 51, but in Australia, he averages 35. He plays the ball under his nose. He loves to guide it down between third slip and gully. You can't do that in Australia. You nick those. So his technique does not work in Australia. Joe Root will be their weakness. I mean, do we need to play? Do we even need to play?
I think this must be one of the benefits of age that, like, once you've seen something a few times, that's what it's always going to be. You know, like there is so much commentary out there that just has ignored the last like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah,
you know, because it's convenient, but like
hasn't been here.
Exactly, and so nothing he's done since then matters, and that applies to the entire England team actually. But like Joe Root, the last 4 or 5 years has been the best batter in the world, like statistically. Numerically, whichever way you want to swing it, for the last 4 or 5 years, and yeah, like he'll. I don't even think it's been established the whole Dos nude thing. If he was complimenting him or sledging him, I'm just because Dos can speak in word salads, and I'm not there to judge, by the way, because I can too. But yeah, I mean, Root has changed and improved. You know, and they play differently now, and he has different batters around him. Like I don't know about you. Like, I'm hoping that Hoggy's right. I'd love if he was. I'm expecting Root to like demonstrate the same improvement he has in every other country over the last 4 years here in Australia. I mean,
Joe Root will be fine. He'll be fine.
That's very committal. But like, what's it like being Steve Smith, like listening to the amount of whack-off conversation about whether Root will become the best ever as he comes into Australia? Like, is Smith, when you look at overall records, like, and the statistical difference of like 56 average to 51, which I think is a pretty decent difference.
I think the away record, I think he averages over 50 away from home as well.
Smith?
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Smith just watching that with a necklace, like old Soho Smith there, just going, hello, am I here?
Well, I hope that's the case.
Yeah.
Because he probably is a guy of like, I am here. I exist.
Like, we're just talking about, can Root catch Tendulkar? I think he probably can and will, you know, and can he, and if he does it here, what does that mean for Root? And Smith's like, well, I'll be having a look at myself. No, I'm just,
probably.
I don't know, the BBC readers don't, but that's fine.
I mean, the combined 11s have been particularly interesting. But yeah, I mean, I think that's part of Smith's thing with the captaincy as well. He's like, when he gets the captaincy back, he's like, I'm the main guy again. I'm the main guy. So if someone's going to be like, Joe Root's the greatest player of all time, well, not saying that, but like, you know, a very, very good player. If he completes the 100 thing, then it's like, you can no longer have any claim against him not being simply a great of the game. Now, many people would already say he already
Smith's
is.
already there. Like, are you saying Root will join Smith, who has these hundreds, particularly like in England and everywhere else?
Yes.
Yeah, but yet because of the quantity of Root's runs, and its proximity to Tendulkar, are we in a different stratosphere of conversation?
That's my point. I think that some people suggest that unless he does it away at the main rivals, then it's like there's always going to be a bit of an asterisk. Now, I don't necessarily subscribe to that. I think he's already achieved so many amazing things that he simply must be, at least in a conversation, as one of the greats of the game. It's farcical to say, like, no, he's not. As black and white as that. So I think if he does this last thing, then I think he'll be, you sort of close all the gates there to be like, no, you cannot. You cannot say he's a great of the game.
Did you note Smudge a few days ago, again, like with the captaincy hat on, where it just gets a little more alpha from Smudge, just going like, I think England might have got it wrong with the selections and going all out pace. You know, the nibblers in the last few years have actually done well. Now, I don't know if that's him going, I'm afraid of pace. Please, Matty Potts would be a great selection or whatever.
Ollie Robinson,
but yeah, Smith, like, I mean, you're starting to hear some Aussies now offer some like more material commentary on the way England plays. You know, you've got Hoggy there saying this is how Root gets out. Smith saying nibbling it around. You know, Darren Lehman saying, you know, they always bowl first, etc. Is it a brand of Smith that you like to see?
It's certainly a throwback to how Australian cricket's always been, and reminds me how certain situations may have occurred with the confidence and whatnot. You know, I think things have changed typically, but in short bursts, I like seeing a little glimmer of the alpha Australian life.
Is it what we do in Australia? You know, like under Cummins, we've been so composed, and
never talk about the opposition.
Now, and egoless and well behaved and stuff. But like now, a couple of injuries, backs to the wall, and I'm sorry, but the tonic of alphadom is still speaking to me, and I feel bad about that.
Well,
you know, Smudge going, hey, hang on, I'm like. People are saying Root's the best in the world. You know, I'm a backup skipper or whatever. I mean, it's necklaces. Well, I'm sorry to come back to it.
Look, in the same way that, you know, Broady was embarrassed by what happened at Lords, and
he certainly was.
I'm embarrassed as well by how much I enjoy. You know, someone getting out there being like, "Hey, I've made it in America. I've made it in New York. I can make it anywhere." You know, and when I say by making, you just bought an apartment there or whatever. But
that's making it, isn't it? He got out before Mamdani's going to destroy it all. His Marxism.
Yeah. So, you know, small doses. I like that he's, you know, going quite aggressive. Over the course of time, can lead into some problems.
Did you catch the article about Neil DaCosta over the weekend?
I didn't, no.
Oh, okay.
No.
I don't know. I just I like the genre of article about like batting whisperers. You know, like he's got people in his stable historically and currently, and you know his latest project is Marnus, and we haven't heard from Neil DaCosta for a long time. But Marnus starts scoring runs. It's like when Neil DaCosta's back.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And he had to sort. He was just explaining how he had to sort his shapes out as well.
It would have been quite a simple explanation as well.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And he went on to make some rather like pointed comments about Sam Konstas' technique being completely immature for Test cricket, and what happened was beginner's luck. And I don't know, people might share those sentiments, but I thought that was unnecessary. Unless he's trying to get Konstas into the stable. Maybe he's into the stable.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just like I like the batting whisperer genre. Like this is the problem with Doggett's late arrival into the team, is we haven't had enough time for backstory stuff. Like, who are the coaches who moulded him into who he is, etc.
Well, if he takes 8 for on day one, we'll be interested.
We'll be interested, yeah. But we got a little bit with Weatherald when he came on this show and just talked about his housemates. I feel like we got a backstory. It's like, mate, I live with a couple of blokes who want to talk about themselves, and I got throwdowns from 16 yards when I made the Australian team.
So my memory when Mike Hussey made it to the side, he opened the bat against the West Indies in Perth that time, and we weren't really that interested in the backstory. 10,000 runs, sure.
Yeah.
Then he did quite well in the second innings, I think it might have been. And it was like, let's have a look at his backstory, you know? Like being in the system for a while, in a squad 7 years ago, next cab for 18 months, waiting for your turn, you know, 200 first-class wickets at 25 or whatever the fuck it is. It's like, well, that's all well and good, but what have you done? Like, have you played any cricket?
Yeah.
You know? And by that, I mean cricket that I've seen on the television, live and ad break free and play. Are
we suffering from how much backstory we got from Konstas? Because we were getting backstory updates live during that game. Like, his parents, he was giving interviews during his innings with his backstory. His family was
that's his brother, that's his cousin,
his brothers are jumping on. Yeah, jump in here, boys. Give us backstory. I mean, we're getting backstories on like the hundreds that he scored at every single level in every game that he's ever played.
Yep.
You like Is Dizzy's comments about Brendan Doggett being a greyhound, is that like being anointed, but from a fast bowling perspective?
He's playing from the wrong state. See, if he was from New South Wales and we could have connections to the harbour or perhaps, a private school.
Well, Warramai is New South Wales, right? I don't think they'd call it New South Wales, but so we've got some connection.
Okay, well, see, Dizzy needs to be out there more, speaking about the greyhound.
Yeah. So, we want. Has there been enough Weatherald backstory? I think there has. I think we've had some good,
Yeah, we've had some Darwin stuff. And,
Just, just from the marketing angle on this, like Weatherald and Doggett completely deserve their positions. I would do exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
However, it's like, it's not, it's journeyman selections.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think South Australia needs a bit more PR about it. They've got the good tracksuits. They've got the great lineage of people running on the field Adelaide Oval when they win the Shield, which is great. But just need a few more, I don't know, like legends speaking about, the halls of power at Saka there.
Yeah, Trent will be loving this. Well, is that Australia?
Yeah. Now, England played a game at Lalor Kill against the Lions. Nick Holt tweeted when Archer was into his second over, a little welcome to Australia from a bloke driving past, shouting out of his window in a car, said, "Fuck you, pommy cunts." So, because that's never happened when Australia goes to England. So there's that. So Stokes, in response to questions over England's lack of preparation.
How's that? Very nice, knowledgeable. I mean, I actually take that as I think Cricket Australia would be buoyed to hear that. It's like, someone's aware of cricket, and who it is.
Yeah, it goes from like magpie swooping season to the yelling out, "How's that?"
Yeah.
And then before you know it's Christmas.
Yeah. Like if you're a grade player and someone calls out your name, you're fucking, that's
holy shit.
That's you done.
Yeah.
Cue in the rack.
Ben Stokes said in relation to the questions over England's lack of preparation, I'm not really sure what we're supposed to do. And then he called the former players has-beens. Mate, I've got to say, and I simply must say this, a lot of criticism, of course, from past players about they haven't played enough state games. In 2010-11, they played against South Australia, Western Australia, I think Australia A, etc., etc. That was 15 years ago and the IPL was a year old. Now, my point being, referencing the IPL there, is that it's completely changed the entire landscape. You look at the three formats now, all the franchises all over the world. These guys are playing non-stop. We also asked Ben Duckett the other week, we made the point, just like, well, if they organise a game against, say, Western Australia right now, well, Western Australia are playing in the Shield. So the Sheffield Shields are going to stop to give England the tour game. They would have played the under-20s. It would have been at probably Lalor Kill anyway. And it's like, well, I feel like England's hands are a little tied there. Now, at the same time, you do understand the frustration that's like this whole thing has been set up to succeed in Australia, this thing being the England cricket team. The whole thing has been to be competitive in Australia, right? And so no team has been more prepared in that regard than they are than this team right now. You probably like a few more games, but I do agree with Stokes. What are they actually supposed to do? When all the criticism around, I would like to hear some actual suggestions of what they should have been doing. Should they have not sent players to New Zealand for that series? Because that's obviously organised. New Zealand cricket rely on the money of playing one of the big three nations. And
good courses there too.
That's right. And so, should some guys have not gone there and just gone to set up in Australia earlier, so they're trying to play some grade cricket? Should they have brought over more players and played in different parts of the country? Like, I'd actually like to hear some actual suggestions of what they could have done differently, because there's no fucking way that Western Australia, for instance, the Western Australia Cricket Association are going to go, we're actually not going to play in the Shield and give you guys a couple of warm-up games on good decks. I mean, we did it for India, but that's a different thing.
Mate, honestly, this is the one area I think both teams would have bipartisan agreement on. In modern cricketers loathe prep matches more than ever before. I found the criticism it's tedious, it's expected, but in the context of this England team and who it's coming from, I find it really surprising, because no team in my memory has customised their preparation for a series more than England. This has been a 4-year campaign where generally accepted rules around performance have been extended, unprecedented forgiveness across the board from ex-players, media, the fans. Now, that's not catch-all. People have got frustrated, things have been said, but I think on the whole, a lot of underperformance has been tolerated because of the promise of something greater. That's why they have been able to carry an opening bat who averages 30, a number 3 who averages 35 after 61 tests, quicks who have struggled to get on the park, a spinner who played Linfield 2s recently, and it's fair enough because, the very fact that they've been smashed so badly out here over 3 series has allowed this unique political mandate for the Mavericks of Key, McCullum and Stokes to not only assume control of the team, but to hold control throughout these results that, practically speaking, have been pretty middling for a team of England's resources, right? So they've got the mandate because they've been so smashed beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's been we were not from 17, whatever, we won 1 game in 17. Now look at how much we've improved, right? So the getting smashed beforehand has allowed these guys to do this. And they've pulled off some remarkable wins, of course, but they've also finished 4th and 5th in the World Test Championship, and they've never beaten India or Australia home or away. But that mandate has seen them be allowed to the rope to persist with poor returns, to throw games away, to play golf and do whatever, all because the ideology has promised the supreme elixir of winning the Ashes away. And why wouldn't you try a new way of doing things given how badly the other ways have gone before? Fair enough to go, let's zealously commit to this way of doing it for 4 years. Everyone's all in. We can't do worse than what we did before, almost literally. So that's how big this Ashes is, and it's why I thought the reaction to the preparation was strange, because this is what England have been doing for 4 years. Now you choose to judge this team for being from the old school perspective. I mean, Stokes and these guys, they love staying fresh. They love playing golf. They love not really leaning into playing hard-nosed cricket for fucking 3 or 4 weeks. They've been very consistent and clear about that. Why is it now? And it's because the pressure's on, and people are reverting back to what they know. But I thought the whole way Stokes and the guys go about their cricket was fairly understood. And now we're just hearing all these English people come out and go no, I think you need a couple extra games. And
Mate, absolutely. And 5 tests in 6 weeks feels it's helter-skelter. It is to a degree. But how much happens in 1 test match, let alone 5 over 6 weeks? The narratives of every player, every time someone goes out to bat, you think about the pressure that Joe Root might find himself in if it doesn't work out in, say, the first 3 innings of the series. Working out being scoring a fucking test 100.
That's right.
which is absolute par for him now. Coley last year, for instance, was coming in on a lean run of scores 100 in the 3rd innings of the test match there, and you think, he's done it again. He's found it. And then by the end, he's dead.
Washed, yeah.
Hey,
Rohit missed the first test.
Yeah.
And he was washed
and by
2 tests later.
By the end, he's retired himself.
Yeah.
The point being, and you look at the series in June, July this year, the ebbs and flows of that series, you almost forget what happens on day 2 of the first test by the time you get to day 3 of the 5th test. There's 2 different teams playing by the end of that series, essentially. And so the idea of freshness, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Now, I think that England's biggest problem and biggest hurdle so far they'll have to overcome in the axis of McCullum and Stokes is consistency, because they have these extraordinary highs, but the percentage of cricket that they have been playing is so low that that's why I can see that England absolutely smashing Australia in 1 game and then not being able to string those performances together over the course of 5 test matches. Now, of course, if you're missing, if the opposition is missing 600 test wickets, that's going to even the ledger a little bit. But that's the thing they'll have to overcome. But I don't really see a benefit of them playing, maybe 4 or 5 warm-up games. Although I suppose it is just a response because we're all excited and we just want to see them tuning up nicely, tapering off their program. The problem is you cannot have a program anymore in international cricket because you play for 19 teams.
And as players continually show us, the big risk of playing cricket is doing badly at cricket, and getting injured as well. So isn't it better just to not play and feed people's imaginations? I mean, this is You know, I mean, we're talking about this is our last chance to talk about what we think England's chances actually are out here before, we retrospectively say, yeah, I could see that coming, as everybody else online will do.
Yeah.
But, like, I think the first thing I'll say is, like, and we've always said, is that I think that their approach to playing cricket, their style of playing, is completely understandable in the context of what has come before in Australia. I mean, I think a lot of people understand that the Ashes is the Everest for England. You know, more so than the World Test Championship. It's a much more central part of cricketing conversation than it is in Australia among cricket fans, for example. So they are judged by this, right? And I think that, like, the way they've played the game has been attractive. It's been understandable because of what's come before. But where I think that, like, what's hard for me to get past ahead of this series is that, like, when I think about teams that have beaten Australia out here, at least in our lifetimes, of course there's many ways to skin a cat, but, like, the commonality is, like, a fundamental relentlessness to oppositions. You know, like, there's a light and shade to people who can, you know, to endurance and then to skill. It tends to be teams that can beat Australia at their own game. You know, like hard nosed. South African teams or Indian teams. You know, you think about people like Cheteshwar Pujara, you know, Vihari. Yes, he's going to have some skill and some excellence and some X factor players a lot in there, but it's really people. Like, teams that can go with Australia, that can outlast Australia. This England team, they'll obviously want to take a different route to victory. But, like, for every remarkable result that they have, they do seem to marginalise the 2 or 3 that they miss out on because of their style. And I do feel over the length of a 5-test series that is going to cost them. You know, that the low percentage style of play is not really sustainable for winning over 5 tests. But you know, they've noted that perfect storms can happen. Momentum matters. People will be all over Australia if they're looking like they're struggling. When they lost that first test in Perth last year, it was like, this team's got some cracks in it as they age. You know, time waits for no man. The team is now a year older. It's barely replenished, and now we're seeing, for England's sake, like, a little bit of luck by way of injuries as well. So there is a path. It's hard for me to see it over 5 tests.
5 tests is the big thing. Yeah, I think about if 2010-11 matters in the context of this series. Steve Finn got dropped from that series. Now, he was their sort of X factor, raw pace, one of the fastest guys in the world at that time. They dropped him because he wasn't giving the team the control that they had with Bresnan and Tremlett, for instance. I'm thinking about Melbourne. So, you know, like that relentless and persistent line and length and hanging with Australia, and then with the bat they just absolutely battered Australia. Couldn't get Cook out, couldn't get Trott out. Amazing runs in that series. You know, Australia missing 2 of their best ever cricketers in a series is huge. It's enormous. And I don't think Australia are, for instance, as strong as what India were at home, say, 5 years ago when they lost 1 series in 15 years or whatever it was. Australia's not that dominant at home, but they are very, very tough to beat at home. And I think of the replacements coming in without, look, I'm not going to lie and say I've been watching Doggett bowl for 10 years. I haven't, but they like it, and then the numbers are good. I suppose the extra workload for Boland and Starc is interesting, and it's a watch. But I do think Australia just has more quality over the course of 5 test matches. But when you look at what happened in 2023, basically the same teams, same guys playing for both teams. It's real momentum for England enormously. Like they got themselves back into the test match in Headingley, the 3rd test match there, and just about won the series. Right, there was just this wave of, I suppose they had the home support as well. So, like, you know, it can happen, but for Australia to lose 3 test matches out of 5 at home, of course it can happen. It's pro sport. I think Australia is too good a team. I think they've got too many good players, and I think it's going to be a very boring 3-1 result, would be my guess, which isn't sexy because everyone wants 5-0.
I am curious about Bazball out here. I don't mean like doing it on our decks or
Yep.
or anything like that. But like
Yep.
when I think about teams that have beaten Australia, part of it is that I say relentlessness, but it's also like it's not letting Australia get away. Like Australia punish you if you're if you're off the mark in any way. Batters can get away and all of a sudden they're on big scores. We haven't seen that the last few years, to be fair. Or bowlers just chip away, and Australia likes to dictate with the ball. Now, like the way England plays their cricket, they're going to shift the paradigm of how cricket is played here because of their style. It'd be very interesting to see. Australia were willing to yield to England's style over there in a sort of egoless way. We have the deep point, we have catches at third, and like on the boundary and stuff like that. I'll be curious to see, particularly under Smith's leadership, whether he gives a nod to the way England wants to play cricket and starts to shift the way that we like to play. And I think, Boland likes to hit the mark and go to work on you. England's not going to let you do that. They're going to go at 4, 5.5 and over. That's just what they do. That is the rhythm that they impose on you. They're going to ask questions of you. Doggett won't have seen that style of batting before, as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
So there's going to be some new challenges for at least half the quicks. That's an advantage to England as well. I think they do come with it's part of their fundamentalism, which could bring them down, but like they do come with a clarity of how they like to play. And that is, I actually can't remember seeing a cricket team with such a football style, blueprint. Like, in football, like now we have managers who are like, you've got to fit into my system. You've got to, we have an ideology. We have an identity. This is the style of football we want to play, and everyone has to fit into it. Cricket tends to just be like, man, if you've made the most runs or taken the most wickets in the level below, you're in the team now, and we'll figure it out because it's an individual game in a team setting. Like there are some teams that maybe have a style, but this England team is like, now, you can only make this team if, like, you score at pace, you bowl aggressively, and you play golf and you're good with the boys and whatever. And that's not really to sledge it, And I don't think Australia out here has faced, the teams that end up having that kind of identity are like the great teams. Like the West Indies might have had that identity. The great Australian team might have had that identity a little bit. This England team comes here with middling results, but still a way of playing. And I just wonder how much that might knock Australia off its equilibrium as well. I mean, I'm making the bull case for England.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that is kind of the discussion about the war of words before this series, right? So much discussion has been on England and how good they could be, yet they often aren't. And there's been no conversations around Australia because they're quite percentage-based players. It's the same team, broadly speaking. We sort of know what they do. And, geez, they win a lot of games. And that's what I found fascinating. I've actually not seen any Australian outlets do, like, your combined Ashes 11. I've only been fed like the English ones, but geez, like 9 guys in England getting the side. Now maybe the case is there that England have more match winners, and that's often the funny thing. Like when they win, they win big because they're all trying to go at like fucking 10 and over, and so they can often pile on enormous scores or overcome enormous deficits in the fourth innings. But when it goes the other way, they lose, equally enormously, right? So Australia, much better team. England maybe more match winners. I don't know.
I think there's other questions around like how does the way England bat work with like chest and side balls going sideways? If they're momentum based and they like hitting the boundary, have we even discussed the size of the grounds here? A game like a ball's going to be taken on the boundary, which otherwise would have gone for 6 or 4 or whatever. I do think that's partly why people are being a little apart from zealots, but like being circumspect about what might happen, because I actually think the style of play of both teams in these conditions haven't really been seen before. And then when you throw in a few Australian injuries, it's a different kind of challenge that Australia has ahead of them. As I said, like they like to dictate, they like to get you into a high percentage cricket battle and beat you at the margins. Just be better than you at line and length. They catch better than you. They're slightly better at defending balls and dealing with the length, of their of where the ball pitches and stuff like this. But like England's coming at it from a completely different perspective. Will Australia try and dictate, or will they just wait it out, and just wait for England to make a mistake?
I guess we'll see.
I mean, time will tell, that's for sure.
Monty Panesar said, Ben Stokes and the England team have got to make Steve Smith feel guilty and play on that. Say something like, I don't think it's ethical that he's the captain. I don't think he played the game fairly. Really get into him and make him feel guilty about it. Make him feel like, they're probably right. I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be doing this.
Wordy, but it's a start.
I don't think Smith has, given that he's a guy who shadow bats naked in hotel dressing rooms, I don't think he's ever thought, I shouldn't be doing this.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, shit. Now, Ravi Papara was on podcast Beard Before Wicket.
Oh, yeah. Respect,
yeah.
Beard. Definitely not beer.
Definitely not Beer Before Wicket. Beard Before Wicket. And here's what he had to say about the Ashes, please, Trent.
I didn't even know what the Ashes was.
Until when?
Until I played it. I promise you.
No way.
I had no idea. No idea what the Ashes was. And they were making a big deal about it. So you had all the press and everyone's going crazy. It's the Ashes. I was like, what's the fuss? And they said, you know, this is like a long tradition. That's when I learned about it.
That's awesome. I love that. It reminds me of Robinho thinking he was going to sign for Man United.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Well, the Ashes, it starts on Friday, baby, live on KO Sports, all with no ad breaks during play and in 4K. Pezza, before we get to Gideon and Pete on the show, nice to have them on the couch.
And I just want to give the last word possibly to the punters and also to Perth as well.
Okay.
We did ask last week. We just noted that Perth was in need of a nickname.
Yeah.
Optus not really doing it.
No.
At this point. Yeah. And we put it out to the punters. I just want to read a collection of what they
thank
put back.
you.
We just said like nicknames. It just captures a bit of a vibe with it. So, Stadium McStady Face for the stadium. Wacker 2 Electric Boogaloo. Instead of Perth Stadium, someone said Girth Stadium.
Yeah. Okay.
Trough-Man Arena.
Yeah, well, there's an option there. Yep.
It's a dry heat stadium. You can leave on Length Arena.
That's good.
Yep. The Cock Ring.
Yep.
The two that kept coming up were the Crab Pot or the Cray Pot.
Okay, the pot.
Now, I'm not, and that's one of the flexible kind of, that's where you can flex on the name a little bit. But that seems to be what people are coalescing around. Some are saying it's already called the Cray Pot. I don't pretend to know the correct shapes of either of these contraptions, but that's working for me. I mean, I'll hand it over to the people of Perth, like crab pot or cray pot, as to what's more kind of.
It's getting a bit wordy for me, but I am thinking about you got to have the spacings of the slips right in Perth. You know, in Australia generally, right, but they can be too close or too far away.
Yes,
you know, so that's. I mean, again, getting wordy, but
the spacings of the slip stadium.
There we go.
Yeah, spacey stadium. So I think we're landing on the crab pot or the cray pot or the pot. So you know, like I'm happy to say the boys are doing better in the first test at the pot.
At the pot,
yeah, over there in Perth. So let us know.
Now people might have seen on our socials that we're doing some stuff with VB. We did it mainly for the jingle, I think, to be fair.
That can be confirmed. No, that was in the original discussion. Like, do we get to play the jingle during it? They're like, "Yep."
Can we be in that with the jingles on? Yeah. In. Now, VB have released a special edition of the cans. There's laws on the cans, on the back of the cans. You've got the run out, you've got faking an injury, you've got the appeals. But we are calling upon the listeners, all the viewers, to submit their moral quandaries about which we will pass judgment. Send them in via the DNs. Now, for instance, because there's obviously been a lot of talk in the lead up to this, actually for the last couple of years. Well, the Ashes really starts from the moment the previous Ashes finishes. And then since then, of course, a lot of moral chat. That's been upsetting.
Cricket is a game of laws.
It is a game of laws.
Said that. Cricket is a game of, it's not rules, it's laws.
No, correct.
There's a book called Cricket and the Law, and laws, you know, by extension, encompass morals. So there is always going to be a moral conversation of a game built on law.
R.I.P. John Laws.
Been a hell of a lot of articles about some Sydney identities, late Sydney identities lately.
Now, we'll... People on TGC Raw will know the story of when I was playing the under 10s. And at that stage...
The ultimate question, yeah.
Now, at that stage, you could retire at 30 and then you could come back in. And so we were fielding, our team fielding. They were 9 down, 8 down, however it works. Their number 11 batting, pops on up the chute, straight to he goes. I've got no interest in catching that ball. So their, future... state representative comes back in.
Because they've got someone who's retired, right?
He's going to come back in.
Yeah.
They need like 30 to win or something, He can do it. He's going to do it.
You played in the Gordon comp, right?
I think I was playing for St Ives.
Gordon District. So that might have been Kevin Roberts.
It could have been.
Yeah.
It could have been.
Gordon Stalwart.
So what do? I drop it deliberately. I let the ball hit my hands.
Describe it. Where we fielding? Like how's it
from
come to
my
you?
memory, I was at mid wicket.
Yep.
Mid wicket.
Left-hander?
It was a right-hander.
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 Mid-wicket.
Syntho deck, obviously.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Back of a length. Guy goes to pull it, pops it up the chute, straight to me in a way
Splice? Off the splice?
He spliced him.
Yeah, so it's not even like, it's not got a lot of velocity on it off the splice.
Mate, even under 10s, the ball goes through the chest.
Yeah, of course.
That's because you're using an Incredible and you're playing on AstroTurf. But still, now it's gone to me in a way that I have not had to move one half step to the left or the right. It's gone straight to me.
Yeah, harder to drop.
Harder to drop. And that made it difficult for me to sell this drop.
Yep.
Because, as I said, we've got no interest in this guy coming in next. He's going to play for Australia in 2 weeks. He's already shaving. He drove to the game.
CEO.
This is the under 10s. He drove to the game.
Yeah.
So I let the ball hit my hands, and then the ball drops onto the floor amid gasps from players and supporters.
Yeah.
Now on the car ride home, of course, I'm in enormous trouble with my parents. Mum's talking to me about how the opposition's talking about taking me to the judiciary.
Under 10s.
Under 10s, yeah.
Had to get a suit from Kelly Country Factory.
And so there was a moral quandary there, like, did I do the right thing? Now, for me, our team won the fucking comp, baby. You know? What am I supposed to do? Let that good player in? Why should I do that? There's nothing in the laws in the game, to my knowledge, which I've not read, which says I must catch the ball. I must make an attempt to catch the ball. There's nothing in that for me.
What about and I don't think this has been mentioned earlier, but the repressed or suppressed compliment of everybody knowing that you were going to take that catch, even at age 9. You know, like I'm not even going to bother selling that I meant to drop that. I mean, everyone knows I would have fucking snaffled that. You know, yeah, fair enough. Yes, fair enough, Mum. I did intend to drop it, just with the old fucking buckets here.
Yeah. Hit me in the face.
Yeah.
Didn't even move.
Yeah, it's quite sharp practice for a 9-year-old and concerning. I think it would be worthwhile the young you visiting a pediatrician, psychologist, just to get to the bottom of how at 9 years old you could have such awareness to go let's get this bloke out. I presume you're already side mouthing by now as well.
Yeah, and I'm wearing a pinstripe suit with a hat, with a bowler hat. I'm in the mafia. I'm wearing a black suit with a white tie.
Right. Yeah, you got a top hat and a cane. That's right, and a cigar coming out of your mouth.
Where did I get the cat from? I was stroking it on a swivel chair and I turned around. How did that get in the field?
Yeah, but it was that's a moral quandary.
That's a moral quandary, I suppose.
And you win that game?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So now if you've got some moral quandary in your life, could be cricket, could be otherwise. I don't know. Send it in via DM. The VB Laws of Cricket blocks are available now at Liquorland nationwide while stocks last. Of course, for those over the age of 18. Here's Pete Lalor and Gideon Haigh.
It's a podcast, it's a website, it's a way of life. It's the best writing duo in world cricket, Gideon Haigh and Pete Lalor. If you don't know already, they're at Cricket et al. On Substack, where for an annual fee of just over $100, you're going to get the entirety of their work, including daily coverage of the Ashes, where you won't find better written, more cogent news and reflections, even if you just want it for the Ashes. If you want to game it, you'll pay about $60, $1 a day stuff. We welcome them here into the studio, Gideon in the studio, Pete in Sydney, to cut through the noise or to add to it. Gideon, what sort of fevered, mindless speculation is catching your eye as we're 5 days out from ball one?
Well, we caught up last week, Sam, at you launched Alpha's Champs and Chop Kings at Caoimhe Park, and I think you made the quite astute point that the experience of the Australian team was being framed as age, and I think we've now moved to the stage where age is being framed as injury, isn't it? Now all of a sudden, you could always see this coming, couldn't you? The old Australian attack, they're starting to fall apart, and this was always predictable. In fact, it's not predictable at all. Anyone can get injured at any time. Sean Abbott's injured, but he's not particularly old. Lance Morris is out for the summer. He's not particularly old. But once a narrative like this begins to gain momentum, all the facts are drawn together to reinforce it. So the Hazelwood injury comes on top of the Cummins injury, and now Mitchell Starc will want to be careful crossing streets, won't he?
You've been listening to too much Mike Atherton. That Mancunian gloom. He was here last summer talking about the age of our tack, and there's almost a sort of vindicated tone to his reflections on it now.
Gids, I'll stay with you on this one. I mean, how do you separate the worst of the fan base's point-scoring efforts before the series in the war of words? Because one might think it's just the worst of the people online, yet when Athers, a close personal friend of yours, says that Boland holds no fears, despite taking 6 for 7 here, which obviously, as we know, doesn't count. Yeah. How do you separate... just someone that wants their team to do well and coming in with a fucking flamethrower, Yeah,
it's funny. I don't remember Ash's sort of repartee being this way 10 years ago.
Okay.
I think there is. I think actually broadcasters are now, and media outlets are encouraging their protagonists to be more kind of deliberately patriotic. There's more of an idea of keeping or replicating the on-field conflict in the commentary box, as just to add to the theatre of things. Thus, we have Stuart Broad. If we're going to have anyone out here in that role, Stuart Broad is the natural villain sent down from Central Casting.
Just on that, Pete, like I noticed from the England side, there's it feels like there's a disproportionate focus on the headlines of the West Australian. And perhaps that's because it feeds into the archetype of the ugly oafish Australian, whereas in my circles or lots of our circles, like most people are criticising that or are embarrassed by what's being said, but it's being harnessed to paint a picture. And yet I noticed you guys the other day talking about how headlines like that attract people to buy those papers. Like, who is buying that fucking shit? But do you know what I mean? Like, does the most provocatively crafted headline that touches at the demonic negative parts of our souls, like, does that sell?
I think what we were saying about headlines the other day is like a sexy headline sells. Something that says, you got to read this yarn. They aren't in this category, but that campaign by the West Australian, which has consumed the English media because it is a set piece for travelling journalists to report on what the local papers are saying. Now, all these pricks have landed in Perth, and there's only one media organisation in Perth, and it's the West Australian and Channel 7 and the Nightly. It's been incredibly successful because, look, we're all talking about it.
Yeah.
So Chris Dawes sitting back there, the editor-in-chief of that newspaper, saying, doing a lap of honour because he's done exactly the same thing that he did with the Courier Mail. Now, it might be cringe stuff for us, but it does feel all a little bit sort of, fake and posturing and confected, doesn't it? And a little bit 1950s. But hey, it's worked. It's got so much coverage for the West Australian.
Yeah, we should point out, in fact, that Dory, who's our former editor at The Australian, was the editor of the Courier Mail in 2013 that crafted the headline Phantom Menace for Stuart Broad. Now, the English medium pacer, who couldn't be named, who then proceeded to take Pfeiffer in the first innings of Brisbane.
Yeah, so it worked, obviously. Yeah.
Gideon's point about the commentary team's very good, isn't it? Really, because especially if you consider that it's Dad's army playing out there, particularly for Australia. But Joe Root and Stokes and those boys aren't that young either. But God, they are the great grandfathers of conflicts past, aren't they? In the commentary box, Vaughan and Ponting and Strauss and all these guys chipping in. They're kind of echoes of battles past. They all come with their scars. I noticed Athers said to Nas on a podcast I was listening to this morning that we've never won down there, but we've got someone who has, and they had Straussy on. So they all wear the scars of those past battles.
Just on that, I mean, the record is astonishing. I mean, we know it's no wins in the last 3 series, but more than that, there's been 30 tests in Australia this century. There's been 6 series. England have won 4 games in 23 years. Now
it's 9 in 40. There's lots of good stuff.
Right. Okay. So we are 4 days away from it starting. Does history mean anything? And then to that point, have there been different iterations of England that have come out here, Gids?
I think it's hugely difficult for England to win in Australia. It's harder for them to win out here than for us to win in England. There's a great line of Sir Leonard Hutton's who said, who is an Ashes winning captain, 54-5. He said, you've got to be 25% better than the Australians to beat them in Australia. Now, I think that's a pretty good rule of thumb because it is a little bit like you play against 12 out here. It's a huge advantage. You're going from low to high. You're going from slow to fast. And, of course, with the limited acclimatisation that touring teams allow themselves these days, that's exacerbated the difficulty.
Pete, then, if England needs to be 25% better, what does Hazelwood's loss to the first test, as far as we know, mean? And secondly, do you have any idea about his availability for the rest of the series?
No. Well, if history teaches us anything, he's gone, isn't he? And you never believe them when they say that it's a slight injury. Sorry, I can't even remember the question now. What was it?
Well, how big a loss
About
is
5
Hazelwood?
seconds ago, wasn't it? Yeah. Okay. Oh, how big a loss is Hazelwood? Massive, yeah. I think because it will further embolden the English, and perhaps you could argue that were they to be further emboldened, they'd become even more reckless. And I think that there is more of a chance of that attack, the Australian attack, perhaps losing its way because it's less experienced, because it hasn't been through those experiences as much.
Pete, is this Aussie's last series? Even if he averages 50, he averages 44, I think, in 43.86 in Test cricket. That's pretty good for an opening batter. He said he wants to make it to the end of the Ashes. I mean, we're here now. It's probably something's got to go pretty wrong for him to not be there. But is this it? He hasn't said it, but he sort of has.
Yeah, this absolutely has to be it for Usman Khawaja. It would be foolish for him to continue, and even more foolish, I think, for them to let him continue. It's time for a change. Ashes cycles are about renewal and looking 4 years ahead. There's nothing to be gained by letting Usman play on. If he wants to play on, he'll be a difficult barnacle to remove. He will moan all the way out, but thanks, mate, but this is your last series. And look, Gideon was reflecting yesterday, he may not make it through to the 5th test.
That does seem to be a comment that both sides are sharing. Gideon, I want to ask, is there any player from either side, this actually goes to both of you, is there any player from either side that you feel is being, as the kids would say, slept on? Are there players that aren't attracting attention that may be more key to the series than we're hearing?
Possibly Smith in the England lineup. I think he's a player that Australians haven't really seen so far. On occasions when he's performed in England, he looks just like a potential Gilchrist-style game changer. I don't think anyone's written a word about him since he got here. I think he could really be a revelation in Australian conditions, coming in at number 7. And I think one of the tactics that England will pursue this summer is trying to bat really long and really deep. There's the potential to pick Jacks, I think, as a spinner, batting at number 8 or even number 9. And you will see England continue to play shots all the way down the order. So, that's the way they play their best, quite frankly. So he is a potential sleeper.
Atkinson's made runs too, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. Yeah. And of course, we have now lost Cummins at number 8, at least in the first test. Starc is has less batting potential than he used to. I always used to think Starc was actually potentially an all-rounder, at least sort of a Ray Lindwall style all-rounder. Might be one of the reasons why they're tempted to pick Nisa, because he does give them a little bit of extra batting. Otherwise, we tend to fall away after number 7. There's all sorts of issues about team balance. There's lots of players in the mix, but the ideal balance is eluding both teams coming into this first test, isn't it? We've got lots of names, but we don't know the order in which they're going to be disposed.
Pete, is there anyone you feel is being slept on?
No, exactly the same as Gids. I reckon that Smith is a very good call. We haven't talked about him, and he could be particularly dangerous down there.
Gids, I feel like the war of words beforehand, it sort of accentuates the differences in cricketing culture, I think, beforehand. Now, like English people or some fans seem very proud that Bazball has wound Aussies up, and I think it's very fair to say that it has. But what are we supposed to do as the main rivals? What are we supposed to do when they're saying that they're the best team ever and they're going to save the game? And then also when I see like Stokes, for instance, like what if Cummins referred to like Greg Chappell or Ponting or whatever as has-beens? It doesn't have the same ability to do that.
I think that's indicative of an impoverished vocabulary rather than necessarily a tendency to insult.
Yeah, get him, Gids, get him.
The words just didn't quite come.
You're being kind when you say that, though, right? I couldn't think of anything more embarrassing.
I'm entitled to pronounce on has-beens.
Impoverished folk.
Oh my God! It's the whole reason we went into business with Cricket at House. So Gideon didn't do a review of our book, so I didn't have to hear that.
He's been compromised. We've compromised him.
Did you hear his review of the AFL yesterday?
I'm here for that. Yeah.
I think one of the things about pre-Ashes banter is that it's a free space. We can indulge in it in a way that we perhaps cannot indulge in it with any other country. We really have to mind our P's and Q's when India are here. In fact, I think we erred in some ways on the opposite side last season.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, the West Australian was just one sort of tribute to Kohli after another this time last summer, wasn't it? I don't think we've actually found a happy medium for dealing with India either. But we know
local papers published pieces in Hindi, didn't they, on the front?
Yeah. So we totally rolled over last summer, and now, we can tap that atavistic route that. Actually, that's a headline, isn't it? Atavistic route for when Joe Root gets his first 100.
I don't know what it means, but it sounds good.
I mean, you are the root rat.
Peter, what are the ways you see a path for victory for England across 5 tests? Because I suppose so far they've lacked consistency. That's probably something they haven't quite shown, especially in the big series thus far. But, how do you see a path to victory for England across 5 tests?
Win more than Australia.
Brilliant.
Nice. Yeah, that's good. That's why I should sign up.
That's
right. They have dropped tests, and it's a trend in modern cricket, isn't it? That when they drop them by a long way when they do, because they're not particularly good at risk aversion and at cutting their losses. But they make a statement early. It's going to be very difficult for Australia to come back, even though I think Australia came back last time after remember the loss in Perth last time and the reaction in Australia to that, and then the team sort of said, "Calm your farm, we'll get this." I actually think it'll be harder for Australia if they lose the first test than it was last year, but it's imperative but they could do it. But I think it's imperative for England to win that first test, because I know that this is a different brand of English cricket that they play, but one after another visiting England test teams has folded very early. When the losses have come up early. Maybe this team's made of better stuff, but we'll wait and see.
They displayed great resilience in 2023. To come from zip 2 behind to almost take out the series was an incredible accomplishment. You've got to take your hats off to that. Yeah. I think a key to success out here is freshness, fresh legs. When they won in 2010-11, they had the nerve to change up that team in the middle of the series when they could easily have stuck with that original combination. They left out Finn, put in Tremlett, put in Bresnan. Broad fell out early in that series. They just kept on coming. England displayed great resilience in 2023. They haven't displayed great resilience in other scenarios. What they just have to do is keep on coming. Perhaps under Stokes in Australia, that kind of challenge will suit him. But of course, I do worry about Stokes. I do worry about Stokes' ability to sustain that level of intensity of performance for 5 test matches and what England is like without him.
That's why I think, speaking of players slept on, that Gus Atkinson and Bryden Cass are extremely important because most of the pace conversation has referred to the X factor bowlers of Wood and Archer, guys who can blow you away in one spell, but not as renowned for their third and fourth.
Yes.
But it's the ability of the English bowlers to keep up a standard in the second, third, and fourth spells that are not only going to allow Archer and Wood to stay fresh across test matches or whatever, but it also will allow Stokes to stay fresh as well and to come in and bowl those really potent spells rather than kind of donkey work spells that over 5 tests you think might force him to succumb at some point.
I think that's a good point, actually. That is something that England has lacked over the last 15 years, isn't it? That the quality of their attack has fallen away quite significantly once you've got beyond Broad and Anderson, whereas Australia has had 4 world-class bowlers every time they've taken the field.
There's been a couple of changes, I think, in the conditions in which we play that may change that. I think donkey work's perhaps less important than it once was for a couple of reasons. Like the pitches, the games are over quicker, and also the ball. You hear past England sides talking about playing down here and trying to win down here and talking about this bloody kookaburra that goes flat after 10 overs, and what are we going to do with it? It's going to be a long, hot day. That doesn't happen so much anymore. In fact, it doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, it's so true. I take that point as well. I mean, we have been shouting for a couple of years that Australian pitches are not what they used to be, but you still get those occasional moments like we had in Perth in the first test where if you do find flat conditions, you can put miles into the legs of the opposition. I feel like both teams are fragile in terms of staying on the park, and then there's guys.
Didn't 17 wickets fell on the first day in Perth last?
I know, and people forget Australia bowled India out for 150 on that as well, but Bumrah just did his thing. So, I want to ask you guys, as people who've experienced more Ashes series than us, every Ashes series feels special. Is this equally special, or does it feel extra special? You were mentioning what tends to happen to England if they lose the first test or whatever, but that this side has almost defined themselves in opposition to those that have come before. They play a completely different style of cricket, and it's hard to, we ignore bowling 6 for 7 because it wasn't against Brendan McCullum's, team. It wasn't against Ben Stokes' team. So does it feel extra special, or is that just because it's pregnant with possibility and no one's suffered yet? We haven't played a test.
Well, I mean, we're coming off a low base in the Ashes in Australia. The last few series have been really disappointing. They've had all the form but none of the substance. So I think we're kind of seizing on the optimistic portents. We actually are really in the mood for a competitive Ashes this summer. Pete and I were in England in 2023, and it was fantastic. Absolutely. He was up there with 2005. Perhaps we've overlooked how good 2023 was. We're constantly sort of harking back to the great days of the past. That was a fantastic series. If we got anything remotely like that this summer, it'd be hugely rewarding.
Yeah, and I think 2019 wasn't a bad series either. Yeah. Particularly the narratives around Smith and then everything that happened at Lords and all that palaver. But as you say, all the good Ashes cricket's been happening overseas because England just haven't won a game here in living memory for most people.
The wild card in Ashes is always England because Australia is always competitive. Australia hasn't gone through an Ashes series without winning a test match since 1977. Australia always finds a way to make an impact. England struggle to make impacts. It's unusual and refreshing when they do, and let's hope it's this summer.
And I think there's almost an anxiety among Australian cricket fans that this team might beat us. People are keen, and that makes people keen to show up and watch, I think.
Do you guys share that anxiety? Because there's a lot of words about it, and we want... well, I don't, but people want a competitive series. The business does. Do you guys share those anxieties or
My anxiety is about a repeat of 2017-18 and 2021-22. I don't want series like that. And the worst series of all was 2013-14, 5-zip. Just awful, bloody awful, day after day after day. It was a penance to go to work. We want. Pete often says we're barracking for the yarn. We're always barracking for what's good material to work with, and the best things to work with are competitive series.
Do you think it will be competitive? I guess that would be a quicker way of me asking that.
Yeah,
do you think it will?
Actually, I do. Yeah. I think the Hazelwood is a huge out. We don't know how long it's going to be, but I think from the very fact that we don't is not good news. I think maybe susceptibility to injury is not more pronounced as you get older, but longer convalescence is definitely a corollary of getting older. So Australia's reserve stocks are going to be tested, and England are fresh, weirdly fresh, and their preparation's been pretty soft and pretty idle. But in 2005, I was reading the other day in Michael Vaughan's autobiography, England played almost no cricket coming into the 2005 summer. There was a 3-month gap. So they were very fresh coming into 2005, and that did, I think, make a difference to the outcome of that series.
That's the excitement here, I think, and that's why I think it'll be competitive too. England have thrown away the old approach, and the whole England blueprint for cricket now, I think, has been aimed at this series, and we're gonna see this. This is the proof of the pudding is in the eating, as Gideon's mother says. We're going to see how this pays off. This plan that was Rob Key and Stokes and McCullum have come up with, this plan that their players have bought into, or their selectors have bought into by picking players that are right for this series, and it just might work. And I think every Australian concedes that.
No, I reckon we'll be fine. Pete, Sorry, mate. Pete, what do you reckon happens if this doesn't work? Because I completely agree. Whilst you mentioned the point there, Gids, maybe the preparation's been soft, it's been unders, one game against each other at a club ground. But I don't know if a team has, built a structure for one series more than what this England side has. So in terms of preparations, they've built the whole thing for this series to be competitive in Australia. So if it doesn't work, and we spoke about the record earlier, the no wins in 3 series, etc., etc. If it doesn't work, will it just be a failed experiment, or will England just win the next series and it'll be fine?
I think you just have to applaud what England have done up to this point. So no, I don't think it's going to be a complete failure. This Bazball at all. I think it's been a fantastic innovation. It has its positives and its negatives. Should they lose, they gave it. Hopefully they gave it a good shot and they failed. And what else are you going to do? Everyone loses down here. So I don't think they'll be marked too harshly if they lose. They'll be celebrated if they're competitive alone.
Gids and Pete, is cricket at our Bazball? How do you guys?
It's very village.
It's very village.
Are you saving journalism?
Yeah. You guys are the best writing duo in the game. What's on the cards for you guys during the test matches? What are people going to get? How are you guys going to figure out the yarns? What's it like doing it as a duo away from the clutches of an all-conquering, all-seeing editor? At a big masthead.
Look, it's always fun touring with Pete. I've been touring with Pete since 2011. We're now we're like the hive mind. We're like, or as I say, 2 cheeks of the same arse. It's great fun working alongside Pete. So the only problem with working with Pete is that sometimes he's actually more entertaining than the cricket.
Gents, thanks so much for joining us. Again, if you want to get across the cogent reflections on the game, just to go along with the irreverent moronic stuff here. Get Around Cricket et al. Might get the odd article from Pezza as well, but Get Around Cricket et al. For some of the best writing in the game, plus the podcast as well. Boys, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Pez. Thanks, hey guys. Cheers, Pete.
And the t-shirts. Oh, yeah.
Now, A true honour.
Here we go.
A true honour to be partnering with this company over the next couple of weeks. If you want safety, if you want the Australian landscape on your hoofs as you're pounding away on the arid, harsh land that we call home, maybe something over the sunburnt shoulders, maybe something to keep the old potato sacks there tied around the waist there. If you want initials that make you feel like you're possibly in a Banjo Patterson poem, then look no further than R.M. Williams. Every R.M. Williams collection begins with a pair of iconic boots or perhaps a handcrafted belt, but this brand has so much more to offer. The brand's signature quality extends to functional leather wallets and travel bags, as well as easy-to-gift clothing staples like graphic tees, rugby jerseys, and shirts. There are also a host of new limited edition products this Christmas, plus special collector's items and stacks of stocking fillers sure to impress. Pezza, Australian cricket is built on the shoulders of club cricketers and blokes whose name you recognise from electronic scorecards or the paper if you're from the 90s. Name, initial,
yes,
success, failure, heartbreak, despair, happiness, Christmas, S.K. Warne, R.T. Ponting, S.R. War, S.P.D. Smith, M.E.K. Hussey, R.M. Williams. It just flows. It's familiar. It's safety.
Thanks. I don't know where else to go with that.
Sort of took it all there, but
yeah. I was getting ready for the initials, but that's all you. I mean, I'll throw DG Bradman in there as well. You know, I mean, this is, and JD Salinger. I mean, this really is a privilege. I love people who've listened to the show for a long time. I mean, you know, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know, we're sorry because R.M. Williams has been a key part of our show for a long time.
Crucial part.
Like, you know, M.A. Noble.
Oh,
you know what
yes.
I'm saying? I mean, the old Stans have got the bloody initials, you know? And now R.M. Williams. I'm a proud owner myself, by the way. You feel like you're connecting with, you know, a rugged but sophisticated part of Australia.
That's
when
a great shout.
When you're donning R.M. Williams. You feel... you feel a kinship with your country.
Oh yeah,
right.
Oh yeah.
These aren't even taglines. I'm just saying it. You know, it's quality.
Yeah. You can head to rmwilliams.com.au or your nearest store to see the full gifting collection and treat yourself or someone special this Christmas. Treating someone special with R.M. Williams. Now that is that is love right there.
Yeah,
that is love. You can browse the R.M. Williams gift guide online and find wish lists and curated edits for every character. Experience R.M. Williams' legendary craftsmanship for yourself online or in store now.
Does it feel good reading that? Can I read that next time? I just want to read legendary craftsmanship.
You can. We're talking about premium gifts, handcrafted leather boots, adventure-ready travel bags, to best-selling gifts, functional wallets, premium leather belts. Got it all. R.M. Williams. Here, right now, is Campbell Kellaway and Ollie Peake.
The current Australian men's team is apparently old and dead. So what a pleasure it is to have two of the most whispered about players in the game, in the Australian game, sitting on the couch with us. They've been central to the VIX 4-0 start. Campbell Kellaway, Ollie Peake, welcome to the Grey Cricketer Boys.
Thanks very much for having us.
Thanks for having us, guys.
Yeah.
Very keen to come on and chat.
Now, like only a couple of days ago, Jared Waitley's out there, you know, with all the colour and drama, you know, saying like something is building in Victorian cricket. Like surely it doesn't get much better than that for a couple of VIX boys like Jared out there saying something's building in like AFL 360 style. Do VIX do it better? And what is building?
VIX definitely do it better.
Okay. What does that mean?
Yeah, what does it mean?
Well, we enjoy the game. Probably enjoy the post game just as much.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay.
More than the other teams.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What evidence is there for that?
Getting. Pardon?
How do you enjoy the game more than other teams? I guess because you win.
Yeah. Winners' piss is better than losers' piss.
100%. 100%.
Well,
I mean, both equally good. Speaking of great cricket, Campbell, let's start with you. I mean, what's the chat been around the ball tampering scandal? Melbourne versus Casey South Melbourne. Funny or outrage?
from my end, a bit of outrage. One of our teammates, Ashley Chandrasinghe, he's captain of Casey, so I put the blame straight on him.
Culture. It's culture at the club.
I think he was the mastermind behind the whole thing. He's denying it, but we'll see what happens.
Ball's only a few overs old, right? So obviously that's when you scrape it on. So.
And was he playing the game or just
yeah? So he was captain in Casey, and they've obviously been done. So he took the blame.
Okay. Good.
What is new like Melbourne coach Will Pekowski do to deal with that kind of situation? I presume he was there.
Yeah, I think he got a level 1 reprimand for abuse or something once he found out what was going on. So he might have been like walking around the boundary line, spraying whoever the guilty culprit was.
Yeah, perfect.
Ollie, do you think it's appropriate that you celebrate September 11 each year?
Yeah, that does come up a bit. It's my birthday for those out there who don't know. It's obviously a bit of a tragic day, but
not for you.
Yeah, not for me.
Day to celebrate. Now you went to Geelong Grammar, is that right? Yep. Now, how much memorabilia is committed to King Charles' attendance in 1966?
You know who that is?
Yeah, I do. There's not a lot at the main campus because he only went to the Year 9 campus.
Okay.
Common knowledge.
Yeah, not too much.
Okay.
Not too much at the main school.
That's good though.
We would have had to make room for all the Ollie Peake memorabilia.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So where do you rank in terms of like a Geelong Grammar alumni? It's a bit of private school chat now.
Definitely below Sam Lalor. He came through the ranks.
Okay. So of course, footy first. So everyone in England's like, the fuck's that?
Yeah. But I guess, Geelong Grammar aren't too worried about the English population. So, Sam definitely takes the cake there.
Yeah. You guys have just knocked over New South Wales, half of whom play for Australia, or did in this game, by 300 runs. I mean, I asked both of you. Campbell, you batted for a bit longer than Ollie, but like, what, like, run, like, what's it, you don't have to glaze them, right? But like, what's it like facing Starc, Hazelwood, etc.? Is it different to the Shield stuff that you've played until this point? You know, a lot of people praise the way that you dealt with Starc, who seemed to have a head of steam. But what was the experience like?
Oh, I guess we were just taking care of business, weren't we, Peake?
Vic's do it better. I'm in.
It was, I don't know, you're kind of so absorbed in like the contest and like what you're trying to do. And I guess I was batting with Pete Hanscom for a bit. He was trying to hold my hand and walk me through it when Starkey was bowling thunderbolts at my head. And I guess it wasn't until you kind of come off and the adrenaline kind of goes away. You're like, that was pretty cool, pretty intense. Good fun though.
You made 50 or is that right?
50 in the first innings.
Yeah, and Starc was trying to like hit you in the hand basically, or in the kind of front shoulder, or something like that.
I don't know. I feel like I kind of forgot how to play the short ball for that first hour after lunch, and then I got pinned a couple of times on the finger, and it kind of blew up straight away. So then I guess he kind of went in for the kill after that, and there wasn't much in my half for the next 45 minutes.
What's it like? What's a chat like? What
did he have for me? He said, I hope you don't have aspirations to play at the higher level, mate.
Oh, crats. Shit.
So that was good, I don't know. All I could do was laugh. Like, what do you say back when he's running in? He'll just bowl quicker if you chirp him back. So, I just had to cough it.
Did you think about chirping him back? Was it something?
No, it didn't even cross my mind.
He was bowling pretty quick. Yeah.
Sharp enough.
Now, you both played for Australia A in that unofficial test matches in Lucknow there. You batting 4, Ollie? Yeah, Campbell, you're up in the batting with Sam Konstas. I mean, how spicy do those A games get? Because like they had like basically the test team playing in the second test. I think it was like Siraj was opening the bowling.
Yeah,
getting pretty chirpy.
I don't know. I didn't really hang around for long. In the second game, he got me out pretty quickly. So I don't know. There's a little bit of feeling in him at times. Like both teams want to win, and that was one of our big goals as an Australia A team. We've got to we've got a group of guys who are pretty similar age. I think we're going to play a fair bit of cricket together over the next few years. So Payne's messaging was like, let's win games. Like, let's go to India and actually and win fixtures. So yeah, I like that competitive side of it. And then also just watching their guns go about it. You're just like, you're also just like, how good is this?
Yeah. Like Shreyas Iyer captain.
First game.
First game he was
KL
captain.
Rahul.
Yeah, he smacked us around.
Yeah.
It was good to watch.
What do you pick up? What do you notice when you see a guy like him go about it?
He was like lost in his own perfection almost. It was just like, I just want to bat and wear you guys down and almost make fun of you in a way.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
No, just on that as well, like to come back to the New South Wales game, it's like seemed to be okay batting conditions in the first day and then it got tough. I don't know.
First innings was tough as well.
Yeah, so of course, no, it must have been, man. Yeah, sorry, I'll just check out your score there. I thought it was there to hit, but what was it like watching Steve Smith in that situation? Had you ever played against him before? Had you seen it in the flesh in a game?
Yeah, I played he played the Shield game this time last year against us at the G, and he made 3 runs for the match. So we were kind of like,
overrated.
Was he ski slaloming into balls at the time?
What's all the hype about?
But then
I don't get it.
This game though was different gravy kind of stuff. I was at point. Peake, he was at cover, and like he hit a shot and then just do something funky, like he'd do some random twitch or something. We'd look at each other and we'd start like giggling like little girls.
Is that because you're seeing what you've seen on TV like in the flesh?
Yeah.
Oh, he's ticking off again.
And you know that video that came out before the World Test Championship? Like all those little one-liners that he had, he was bringing them out, and me and Callus would just look at each other and sort of nudge each other.
Oh, so you could hear him. Funny. You could hear him talk to himself.
He's talking
while
to himself.
Batting.
Yeah, I was at bat pad for a bit, and that was just one of the coolest things, just to see all the mannerisms and.
What was he saying when he was batting against Toddy?
He played a shot to mid on that I thought was pretty good, but Southo dove across and stopped, and he was like, so fucking lazy, and started like hopping around and jumping around. I was just sitting there like giggling to myself. It's pretty funny.
People talk about, like, I know every time, we get into a summer, they try and corner Marnus and Smudge and talk about their friendship, and they must be so bored of it. And like Marnus ends up saying like he's actually not really the guy that I like batting with, because he's just in his own zone so much. Like as in he's not talking, he's just doing his own thing.
Yeah.
Like what was that like watching that?
It's definitely evident. In the second innings, Sam Konstas got our LB like straight on.
It was hitting the crack. The
ball hit the crack, staying
low.
Sam Elliott got him like smash on the front pad. Anyway, Ollie Davies is walking out to bat, and normally as the incoming batsman, you're looking for a bit of guidance, like, is it reversing? I know it's staying low, but you can tell me. And I was walking past after the huddle, and Smith goes, "Hi mate, shin." and just walked off.
That's one of the greats. One of the greats of the game.
On his face. Yeah, it was the best.
Imagine being Ollie Davies.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
That's good.
Yeah.
Thanks for that, mate.
Shit.
Setup.
Is there anything just in how he was batting as well, though, that was like beyond the mannerisms and all the stuff that's very different to how every normal people play? Like he seems right now to be in a Matrix kind of thing. Like he's just he seems to have that time that he used to have or whatever. He seemed to be batting on a different deck.
Oh yeah, he was. I think we bowled him out for under 150 both innings, and he made more than half the runs, about half the runs in both innings. It was, he made the other batters look second rate just because of how good he was batting.
And the way he was doing it, he just wasn't missing the middle at all. Like not one player missed. I can remember.
Oh, feeling good.
Good. And when Boland has the ball and Konstas who's batting, it's just like, well, we're on here.
Yeah, it's when, not if. Sorry, Sammy.
He's all right. Got to open with him next week.
Yeah.
You scored 100, Campbell, for a CA11 against Rabada and Ngidi. That's South Africa touring. So was that in Brisbane?
Yeah,
in Brisbane. AB Field.
Yep.
AB Field. You said this. I've watched how the guys at the top level like Steve Smith and Marnus Labuschagne go about it, and they have a real appetite for runs. Are you also taking your Ritalin medication?
I probably should. I might need a prescription.
Like when you're watching Smith the other day, right, and he's just ticking off, and he's just like shin. He's just focused, and he's doing his hands, and you're at bat pad, and you must be exhausted just watching him. But like when you're watching that, are you just like, oh, this is what it has to be to get to the next level?
Oh, I don't know.
Maybe not that specifically.
I could never pull that off. I do get a little bit fidgety at times, and I don't know. Ollie and the other boys might take the piss out of me if I'm, I don't know, doing something rogue when I'm batting. But I'm not that extreme. I'd like to think.
I don't think he's too far off though. He's getting there every season more and more.
You guys have clearly have a great chemistry at the Vics though, right? Like what sort of chat is going on? Maybe from your more experienced players before you play against a team like New South Wales or whatever. Like it seems to me that more often than not, the cohesive team tends to beat the team when the international players come back. Like what is that? Why do international players struggle at that level? And what is it about the team that's been together that seems to be able to get one over them?
Yeah, we actually spoke about that before the Shield game against the Testies. Toddy Murphy was saying pretty much feels like us as a unit at the moment, we're playing really good cricket together. Where kind of the phrase was, we're all in, except for Scott Boland, who's just having a bowl before the Ashes.
He's having a centre wicket.
The rest of us, at least, are all in on winning. Whereas I don't know. I guess like they had some star players playing, but guys who don't play Shield cricket every week. So we thought that might be a little bit of a hidden advantage for us.
You would have faced Doggett a couple of times. Aussie fans wouldn't have seen that much of him. Do we like it? Is he the best bowler ever?
Yeah, he's the best bowler ever.
Good. Made me feel good ahead of the first test, you know.
I faced him at the Junction last year, second innings, and he bowled downwind and bowled fast.
It's quick, is it?
Yeah. Fast swing and good bumper. So I think, fans of the show will be happy to hear that.
Oh, I'm very happy to hear that. Very happy to hear that. Yeah, good.
Ollie, first game of the season, you're playing the defending champions. You made 70 red in the fourth innings, chasing 231. It attracted high praise around the traps. A lot of Australian fans watching. Oh, okay, here's a new name for us to get around as well. That's only your second game of Shield cricket when you did it. So here's your chance to talk about the innings and say how tough the conditions were.
I think it was rough. He was bowling.
I haven't really backed it up since, so that talk sort of died down a bit. But it was a bit tough. I think. Popey was bowling really good into the rough outside off, and their quicks like Wes, Jordan Buckingham, they were bowling really well as well. And I was a bit rattled when a few wickets were starting to fall, and then Ferg came out to the middle and he sort of calmed things down. And it was good to bat with him. And
gave you a snooze.
Yeah, he had the snooze up in the lips to calm him down. And and it looked like he had a mouth guard when he walked out to bat. Glove punched me and said, "Why not us?" I was like, "All right, I'll follow
why not us?" Brick wall stuff. That's good.
No, it was good.
A lot of support for Fergus O'Neill, of course. Doing great things for the Vics. Who was Shield Player of the Year last year. Yeah, I mean, Wheels, of course, is all we talk about in this country. There's obviously been some fantastic bowlers that are still playing Shield cricket, that have played Shield cricket the last few years, or the last decade or so. I'm thinking about like Trent Copeland or Chad Sayers or Jackson Bird, for instance, still doing great things at Tassie. Like fantastic Shield level bowlers, and then at international level, haven't quite made the jump up, right? I mean, do you reckon Wheels is that important for the next? I appreciate you guys haven't played international cricket just yet, but I mean, how do you guys feel about that at the Shield level? Like, is Wheels everything, and is Sam Harper killing Fergus O'Neill's dreams by standing up to the stumps?
No, it gets him a wicket whenever Harpsy does it. I don't know, the batter's got to come back in their crease, and then they feel like they've got to play it more balls. And Harpsy reckons he's got 6 first-class wickets this year. Next to all the wickets Ferg's getting because of it. But I think with the wickets we play on in Australia at the moment in Shield cricket and also in Test cricket, there's definitely room for a guy who, I guess, hits the seam rather than bowls out and out pace at Test cricket as well. I guess it's been bowler friendly wickets in the last 2 summers in Test cricket, so why not give Fergie a go if someone goes down with an injury? And and I guess even playing at the G or SCG or somewhere like that, he's so effective. So I don't see why you wouldn't consider him.
Yeah. Got to ask the obligatory Chris Rogers question. Like you guys are 4-0. It's like a young list that is developed. That everyone seems to be getting better. You know, what is the vibe in Victoria under Buck? A lot of people know that he's a circuit king, but but that's unfair because he's a brilliant analyst of the game, and more than that, if you ever hear him commentate, he's one of the most underrated commentators as well because he can communicate very cogently and clearly to people as well. So what's you guys did have 1 foot in a Shield final, not that you're allowed to say that, but what's life under Buck like?
It's pretty exciting. A lot of these boys have sort of all gone through the pathway together and have played together for many years. So I think they sort of feel like the time's almost perfect now. We've got young guys coming through like Kellers, Toddy, who are on the verge of getting into test squads and stuff, but not quite there. So it feels like our team doesn't change too much when the test summer gets underway. And I feel like that's a lucky thing for us at the moment, except for obviously Bazzo goes to the Ashes. But I think it's pretty exciting and feels like we're building nicely.
Yeah, I'd add to that. I feel like my first couple of years at the Vics, the young crew coming through, we were kind of like, oh, how good's this? We're getting a game. If you can chip in with a 40 or a 2 for something like that somewhere during the match, you're like, oh yeah, I'll keep my spot. Whereas now I feel like us younger guys are starting to actually win matches for Victoria, which is pretty cool. For Peake to come off at the Adelaide Oval with 75 red and he's just won us a match is awesome. And then someone like Mitch Perry's really growing into the all-rounder role rather than just being more of a bowler who can bat. And then obviously, Ferg's dominating Shield cricket now, averaging 45 with the bat this year. I think he's got the top average in the team at the moment somehow. It's
Reading.
Reading specialist. It's exciting for the young guys to be winning matches for Victoria.
Ollie, I want to ask you about a golden generation coming through because you played in the Under-19 World Cup where our boys won, beat India in the final. In that team, Harry Dixon opening the batting for Victoria. Sammy Konstas, obviously, you already played 5 tests. Is that what he played? 5 tests, something like that. Hugh Wybigan was the captain. He's playing for Queensland. Harja Singh hit 320 in Sydney Test cricket the other day. Ryan Hicks, 2 games keeper for New South Wales. You got Marley Beerman, already multiple white ball squads for Australia. Callum Vidler played 5 games for Queensland. Tom Straker, 14 for Queensland. That's a very exciting team. I mean, so many young guys already breaking into first class cricket and international squads and Test cricket. I mean, that's exciting. Is this going to be the best team we've ever had?
Sam Konstas 2 weeks ago said that team would win the Shield.
It would win the Shield.
I think a few of the older boys
they blew
had
up.
to do a double take.
It was a good team. I think even at the time, because I came as an injury replacement, I sort of got there after they had played 2 games, and I was like, oh, who are the teams to beat? Blah, blah, blah. And they're like, we're going to win. I saw India. It's just out of us 2. I was like, geez, that's saying something. But it's a pretty strong generation. I know there's a lot of hype around it.
Yeah.
The bowlers especially were very exciting in that tournament and sort of blew the Asian countries away just with
wheels,
more pace and bounce.
Yeah.
Just on that, these days there's talk about $10 million franchise contracts that go year round, and people will then often say that the next generation lack the same fire to play for Australia, and they're basically talking about you. So what is the fire danger for you guys? How much does it burn to play for Australia versus looking at what the professional opportunities are year round within cricket?
I think that's a load of garbage. What people are saying about us young guys coming through. For me, it's always been Test cricket's the pinnacle, and you want to play well for Victoria, win shields, and then if we can produce 5 Test cricketers from winning Shield cricket, that's the goal for me. I don't think it's that's pretty much what it is.
Yeah, I'm on the same page there as well. I think a lot of people talk about like just try and do what they can in the red ball space until they sort of retire or their body starts letting them down, and then finishing off with the T20 to
line the pockets.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think for the young guys, I know in that 19s team, I think a lot of people are still aspiring to play for Australia and play Test cricket as the pinnacle.
You mentioned before how you were running the drinks when Konstas hit 60 on Boxing Day.
Yep.
You're obviously a close friend of his now, having the 19s experience. Talk us through how Sam was feeling as you're running drinks out to him.
It was pretty cool. That was probably 10 months on from our World Cup win.
Okay.
So, yeah, it wasn't very long after. And, I remember running him gloves and him and Uzi out there. It was pretty cool. I think Uzi was a bit taken aback by the way he was going about it. And, he just looked so in the zone and so confident that, he was going to be fine out there. And, it was great to watch as a fan and also as a mate.
I think Collie had shoulder charged him by that point.
Yeah.
So it was sort of all kicking off a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently when he shoulder charged him, Sam said, "I know you're a good player, but have some respect."
I love him.
What a guy.
We're here to talk about you guys, but we're in the neighbourhood. Did it surprise? Because a lot of people's first experience of Sam Konstas was that game and didn't know anything prior to that, some people's first experience was a ramp and a reverse ramp and that kind of thing. Like, is that your guys' understanding of how he plays and how he and the stuff that he's saying? Is that what he's always been like, or did you observe a change?
No, he's definitely sort of had that on-field switch. I feel like off the field he's the happiest bloke going around, just a larrikin, very laid back, very relaxed, and then as soon as he gets on the field he turns very competitive, has extraordinary self-belief and thinks that he's the best, which I think is why he's got so far so quickly as well. But yeah, all the ramps and stuff, he's always been able to do that, but he can do everything else as well. He's just a very well-rounded player. And I think he speaks about if the conditions suit, then he's going to play them. And that's what the best players do. They adapt to the conditions. And that's what I've seen.
Yeah, I think he's got that many weapons. He can bat properly and build a proper innings, but he's also got the flair. So when he works out when to use what gear, he's going to be very good.
Does you guys like watching the Australian Test summer? I remember when we played cricket. When you're in grade cricket, you don't really watch the national side, even though they're literally the thing you aspire to be. Because the games are across weekends and you're worried about your third grade scores and stuff and
the important stuff,
trying to get laid on Saturday and all the really important things in life, But for you guys, I mean, Campbell especially, I suppose, because there's been some whispers about in and around squads or whatever. Buck's back to you, of course. Are you do you guys get a chance to sit down and watch a full day of Test cricket? I mean, are you checking every score now? Was he looking a bit on the short stuff a bit?
Well, I'll definitely be watching this summer. I'm super excited to see how the lads go against a strong England team, and just the hype that's around this series. You can't. I was talking to my brother about it this morning. We were eating breakfast. I was like, "What date does the Test start?" It almost needs to start tomorrow. I think everyone's just itching to see what happens. But then there's other days where you're playing all day and you're out doing dirt. And you come off and this guy's got 100 or this guy's taking 5 and you miss the whole thing. So.
Yeah.
Have you heard anything from GB, about just staying warm?
Oh, no, not. I've spoken to him a little bit, but it's the conversations have just been keep winning and doing well for Victoria. Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. I think that whole I ask because I think the whole selectors talking to players is such a mystery to people who don't actually play at that level, and people just have each other's phone numbers. Like we know ex-players used to text the selector all the time. You know what I mean? Do you know anybody like that who's just into the selectors all the time, or always pushing the case? I mean, you had to give me, yes, we do, but without saying who it is.
No comment.
Boys, well, thank you very much for giving us your time in studio as well. Vic's absolutely flying. Looks like you got a great vibe there. So wishing you guys the best for the summer and beyond. And appreciate your time here today.
No worries. Thanks
guys. It's been good fun.
Pez, I got to shout out McGuigan Wines. McGuigan is the official wine partner of Cricket Australia. No drama, just bloody great wine. When you know,
that's all you want.
That's all you want. When you know is their whole thing. Okay, back your own taste and just pour what you like. Now today, we're running with the new Black Label Rosé, crisp, dry, and fridge door ready. Or if you're after the classic, their best-selling Black Label Red, now in a limited edition Cricket Australia pack for summer. And we've got 2 A-reserve tickets to day 1 at the SCG on the 4th of January to give away. We're giving away 2 A-reserve tickets, day 1, SCG.
That's a hot ticket.
That is a hot ticket. Now, to enter, you'll find a post on our Instagram. Just follow at McGuigan Wines and tell us on that post in 100 characters or less your best, quote, when you know, match ritual, okay? When you know. We'll pick our favourite, 18 plus only. Please enjoy responsibly. T's and C's in the show notes. Match day sorted. McGuigan Black Label. Easy to spot, easy to drink. When you know, you know. 18 plus. Please enjoy responsibly. 2 tickets, 2 hour-reserved tickets at SCG. Sorry.
This will be good.
Well, India fucked it. They did it. They've shit-tipped themselves out of another test match. Here are some stats. South Africa have won 10 of 11 games under Bavuma. India have lost 4 tests at home of their last 6. They lost 3-0 to New Zealand, beat the West Indies 2-0 before this opening test match at Eden Gardens. Now, South Africa haven't won a series in India this century, as I understand it. Wouldn't be the only country to do that, to be fair, because India are quite good at home up until recently. But India now, this is only a 2-test series, so India will not have won, they will have won 1 of their last 5 test series. So there's that, but that's not really the story. South Africa batted first, made 159. India made 189. Then South Africa made 153. That meant that India needed 123 to win the test match, 124 to win the test match. And they were bowled out for 93. Now, this deck was cooked, and that's the first time that anyone has ever made that accusation. But, that's because of racism. Harbhajan tweeted, the Turbinator himself, says, Test cricket, India versus South Africa. The game almost over on second day, isn't finished yet. What a mockery of Test cricket. Hashtag RIP Test cricket. Well, doesn't that say it all, Pezza?
Yeah, I mean, you make 150 and 150 and you got 32 many away from home. I mean, I think it's techniques.
Yeah,
personally.
Yeah,
and just really good spin bowling. Look, I want to just clear a few things out.
Okay,
right? Firstly,
okay.
Fair fucks South Africa.
Fair fucks.
A rebuttalist South Africa.
Best
by the
team
way.
in the world.
They're getting this done by 30 runs in a team with like Bumrah, Jadeja, Axar, Kuldeep, shit tip, and getting it done well. Temba Bavuma with the only half century of the match. Guy stepped up.
Yep.
That's really good. Another thing, it was good to see the game at Kolkata at Eden Gardens. I just feel like there's been so many big test matches in India, and I appreciate what they're doing by sending it around to different places and stuff, and there are a hell of a lot of cities to send it round to and stuff, but it's just nice to see it in a historic ground. There was 40,000 people there each day,
yes,
which gives lie to those who say they don't turn up to Test cricket. I mean, it's just at one of the city centres that has some history, so that was good. So there's a bit of vibe about, but I think that's also why, for the first time, it's not really the first time, but in my memory, when you get these shit tips and you check yourself, am I allowed to say that or am I going to die? Some kind of death online or whatever. Probably. There tends to be a pretty consistent line out of India that no, it's fine, and this is that's There's a cultural disparity taking place. You know, there's been games you've played in at home that have gone for 2 and a bit days and whatever. What's the difference between spin and
Exactly.
This time, there seems to be like ex-players with some heft with some differing views about this. You mentioned Harbhajan Singh. Anil Kumble says, I've been coming to the Eden Garden since my under-19 days, but I've never seen Kolkata pitch behave like that inside 3 days of a test match. So it seemed to be particularly extreme for Kolkata itself, to which Gautam Gambhir, the coach, explained it and said, this is exactly the pitch we were looking for.
Yep.
You know, so he has laid blame at the feet of his players immediately and just said, you know, if you, I'm paraphrasing, but you know, if you're mentally better and you're good at playing spin, then you're good to go.
Yep.
So, and then even Ganguly, people have sort of reported that he's been backing Gambhir here, and maybe he has, but I feel like he's actually just backing the curator when he says, this is the pitch. This is what the Indian camp wanted. The pitch is what the Indian camp wanted. This is what happens when you don't water the pitch for 4 days. Curator Sujan Mukherjee can't be blamed, was the main thing that he was saying.
Right.
Dinesh Karthik, the pitch wasn't watered the night before the match. That's why it broke up so early. The ICC is expected to issue a poor rating and possible demerit points for Eden Gardens. Now, look, I don't know, like it's a fucking great win for South Africa, like just to do it in those circumstances. I mean, this is India creating conditions that they believe are conducive to them winning. I do think they're the only team the only country in the world so overt about the fact that pitches are simply just ordered in, and with ground staff that wear the team kit. I do not see that passing muster in any other country ever.
Other teams do it, but they don't seem to be so overt about it.
Yeah. So does that mean actually they're honest?
Maybe.
Well,
okay. When I say that, there seems to be some chat that like the in Australia, the associations are responsible for their deck and whatever they want to produce. It just seems quite coincidental that every deck is kind of the same in Australia now.
Yeah.
And then in England, I mean, they're some of the most boring pitches I've ever seen. It's exciting if your team's chasing.
They're ordered in.
They've ordered those in. They made them as lifeless and as flat as possible. So like everyone's doing it. It just seems like, and I think there's also this thing of like it's so extreme in India when it spins like that, and the I suppose the disparity between like when the home side can play it well and the away side cannot. But they seem so overt and just like we're just telling them how we want it. No one else says that. So I don't know what to make of that, but
I mean maybe they just got it wrong though. We've learnt this with India. Like when you over shit tip it, you bring the other team back into it, which is what's happened here.
Simon Harmer's a good bowler.
He bowled really well. He was a joy to watch. Yeah, so I mean, maybe when Harbhajan says RIP Test cricket, like he's also being honest. It's like, oh, this is the game. This is what we're doing.
Yeah,
here, right? I thought it was fucking cool to see 40,000 people there at Kolkata, like, and a bit of vibe about.
Look, can I speak for cricket fans? You know, across the world, when India is so overt about how they just order the decks that they want, despite it seems other countries do the same thing, they just don't talk about it. When you see that, and then when you see India, you know, lose the 2023 World Cup final because they're trying to like outthink the opposition with the deck, Australia's only chance when they win in India has been that the decks are so fucked that they get the better of the conditions and I suppose they're good enough to, capitalise on that, and then they get back and they get in the contest and they win a test match. It's really the only time Australia, for instance, can like go with India in India. And so when you see this happen, it's like, serves you right. You know, like it's very hard to have sympathy, you know, for the powerhouse that is Indian cricket and all the decisions therein when it's like, you see this stuff and it's like, fucking good on South Africa. Good on them.
Is there a watch on Gambhir, or are we not allowed to say that because he'll kill?
Hasn't won a lot of games as the coach. Hasn't won a lot of games.
Good white ball team.
Player power diminished since Kohli and Rohit no longer there. I mean, is he saying like he's put the blame at the players? He said in the press conference that this is what we ordered, this is what we wanted, and it's a player's fault they've lost. Is he saying that if former great batters were in the side?
What about like like we're still being condescending to South Africa. Oh, well done, South Africa, winning that game. So these are the champions.
They've won 10 of 11 test matches.
Yeah.
It's fucking amazing.
It's fucking awesome. And they like Bavuma.
They are the best team in the world.
Bavuma, what a sick cunt. And
mate, what about the catch he took of Axel? The ninth wicket, or the eighth wicket, I suppose, would have been.
Shukri Conrad as well.
Yeah,
that axis is strong.
Yep.
So we're getting around Shelbyville.
Yeah, that's right.
I do think. I think the world. Well, look, most people we've talked to off air have been like, "Wasn't that great to see?" Not for me. I don't want to go. I don't want to go too hard on a home team losing unexpectedly.
Yeah, that's right. The WBBL Pezza. Caoimhe Bray took a hat-trick at Drummoyne Oval the other night. Nobody knew she was on a hat-trick, and she didn't realise herself until she'd taken a hat-trick a few seconds later into the huddle. 16 years old. Always makes you feel good, these ones. But she was born in 2009, Pezza, from Newcastle. Was also the goalkeeper for the Junior Matildas.
Good.
Hero Elise Perry. About time we had a Novocastrian hero.
Yeah.
I'd say.
Yeah.
North
Coast New South Wales represent.
Yeah.
I like when these emerging players are also guns at other sports as well.
Yeah, it makes you
feel safe, yeah.
Now, speaking of guns, Meg Lanning, playing for the Stars, of course, she said, when I first retired from international cricket, I was like, I don't have to train. I'll just go out there and whack them. It'll be fine. That doesn't work out. You do need to train a little bit. She'd still be one of the best players in the world.
Oh, I mean, there's a correlation between her absence and Australia's, diminishment of trophies.
Yeah, well, indeed.
Yeah, it'll happen when you lose the best player.
Hashtag AskTGC is brought to you by Smith Optics Australia. Let me just slip on the sliders here, Pezza. This actually goes with what I'm wearing today. Now, we're not talking about the sliders today, even though you can get these at smithopticsaustralia.com.au. You can use the code FAST and you get 25% off your order, okay? Those are just the straight facts of the case. But Pezza, you've got the prescription RX range on.
We're wearing the Pacers. I'm wearing the Pacers,
Okay.
and I'm very grateful to have them.
Okay.
This is as I've said before. Prescription glasses for me take me from like SD to HD.
Yes.
I'm probably 4K, frankly,
Yep.
these days. And I've been sent the Pacers, and I'm enjoying the shape, and I'm enjoying knowing that Camo wears them as well, which is sad for a 40-year-old. But the thing is, we always use this opportunity to pump up Smith and its tyres.
Yeah.
To highlight cricketers that wear them that we like, and we go by association. This cricketer wears it, so by association, if you wear them, you will be a cricketer.
Yeah, if
Like
you type
sex,
in
but cricket.
Yeah, type in their name, and the first thing will come up will be girlfriend or wife.
Yeah,
and you go to that. You go to that search, then you see who that person's dating. You're thinking,
Yes.
oh wow, maybe I could be with
Yeah,
that. Oh,
yeah.
maybe I could be with that woman or
That's right.
man.
But I actually have and it's been sent to me. Oh, like it's come across my desk. Let's say.
Yeah, okay. In the in tray.
Yes. It's not just cricketers wearing Smith now. Okay, so we're going to a new. We're actually broadening beyond cricket, which, given the problematic link between cricket and fashion, frankly, we do need to show that Smith is actually beloved by many outside of the game.
Good.
Good. And this is how it was written to me, and this person will stay anonymous.
Okay.
Hi Sam, hope you had a good weekend. Forget the success of every decent cricketer wearing Smith. It has now hit the big time. Farmer Dustin from Farmer Wants a Wife.
Dusty.
Is in Smith prescriptions. Most well known for writing into hashtag AskTGC episode 203, Farmer Wants a Fuck.
Yeah.
And recommending to Charlie that he grows a fuck ton of canola on Farm Simulator.
That's right, yep.
So sunrise, sunset, full circle.
Yes.
Nexus. We've got guys from Farmer Wants a Wife now
Yes.
wearing the Smith prescription.
Big supporter of the show,
Also
Dusty.
supporter of TGC Raw, telling Charlie how to play Farm Simulator.
Yes.
So again, cock, feather duster, any walk of life, walk with kings, not lose a common touch,
Okay.
Kipling,
Okay.
Smith Optics.
There's
Everywhere
also-
you look.
There's also a health fund rebate available.
Oh,
How many
okay.
how many options
How much
do we need to give?
value do you
Mate,
want with this?
The people that watch and listen to this show, first of all, we know about them, don't we? We fucking know about the state of their private lives. And
The absolute state of
all,
LinkedIn.
All we do is give these people basically money.
Yep.
Now, I'll say basically, we don't give them actually any money. In fact, in many ways, we actually take money from their pockets. when they're sleeping.
Yeah, but health fund rebates
But,
as well.
but you're getting rebates, and you only have to pay 3/4 of the price for sunglasses or prescription glasses using the code FAST.
Yeah, so there's a range of glasses as well that actually operate in a fashion orbit outside of cricket, but are taken on by cricketers nonetheless.
Unbelievable.
Ungrateful fucking wretches who listen to this.
Mate, they are fucking idiots.
Ungrateful wretches who don't take up these opportunities to basically make money and improve their eyesight.
Oh my God. You'd have to be
Do you want to see?
an absolute moron if you didn't take that up, that opportunity.
Do you hate seeing now? Fucking Gen Z. Smith Optics.
Now
How's the optic on it?
You can get your AskTGC into this show by emailing hello@greatcricketer.com. Last week we asked for just some shorter, sharper ones, and we've received some good attempts at that. Justin said, "Hi Pez and Higgsy." Thanks, Howie. Vis-a-vis the death of ODI chat in the last episode, do you think the conversation of feeling inside the group, TGC, would have been different if India won the last World Cup? Did Travis Head in Australia knock the final blow in ODI's cricket popularity? Justin?
No, I mean, no, quite the opposite. I don't think if India had won that there'd be, like a fire burning within me for Australia to go and win it again. I actually think, I think it really is like Australia has won the World Cup, has won the greatest World Cup. And in many ways completed it.
Yep.
It's enough World Cups. Like Australia the men's team can take a rest for a while from World Cups after that one. So no, I don't I think the feelings about the popularity of ODI cricket are more just down to something's got to give, John Butler style.
A strong West Indies wrote in via the Pigpen. Thinking about your discussion on Warner's debut T20 International Series and how it seemed to mean more to cricket watching public than modern series. More to the cricket watching public than the modern series. I just looked it up on Crick Info, and the first T20 of that series came on January the 11th, just 4 days after the Test series finished. Is it possible this is just another case of there really only being 3 or 4 weeks per year the Australian public is focused on cricket? Cheers from a strong West Indies. Brackets in the Pigpen. So have blockbuster T20s in the nation's biggest stadium as close to the end of the Test series as possible. Yeah. Could be last session, day 5, T20.
Yeah, just get it going. Or maybe just they come off at stumps and then we just roll straight into a T20.
So at lunch, during all the Test matches, they should play a Big Bash game on the ground.
Good call.
Different deck.
Yeah.
Let's not be silly about it.
I mean, just absolutely destroy my eyeballs with cricket, in any form, format, as long as it's between the dates of December 15 and January 4. Otherwise, I am knee deep either in a footy season or the periphery therein, such as people's fitness, drafts, recruitments, international series.
Can I also reserve some chagrin?
Sounds like a drink.
For a glass of chagrin, please, for cities that aren't my own, who don't attend the Test matches in sort of November or early December when people are at work.
Right.
Okay, so because I'm from Sydney, right?
Yeah.
So if there's a Test match in Perth against the West Indies in November, I'll be upset at Perth for not going to the Test match on a Wednesday, November 27.
Yeah, as a Sydney-sider who famously attends sporting events.
That's right, yeah. Well, I go on January 3.
I know what I'm wearing. I know the colours of what I'm wearing. I know the threads, and I know the style, and I know the seats that I'm in.
I'm a cunt. Get me out of here. Sam wrote in November 2023, I was riding high on the combo of a retained Ashes series and one-day World Cup victory. At a lunch with mates, I had a couple too many beers and was very chirpy towards the English contingent in the group. In particular, I was very bullish on the Aussie prospects in the next home Ashes, whose precipice we now sit upon. As part of my chirp, I made a bold claim. Now, we've got a video here from this barbecue with his mates.
Did you say that again? No, I don't. If we lose the 2025 Ashes to England, lose, not draw, I will get the England lion tattooed on my body.
The three lions.
Tattooed on my body.
Yeah. And now there's a young child there telling him to please don't do that. Now, the Australian alpha part of my brain remains very confident that this tattoo will not come to pass, but a little voice keeps me up at night sometimes. My question is, where on my body should I get the tattoo? Regards, Sam.
It's too soon to be entertaining such ideas, frankly. And there's no... I mean, we can't win, that's for sure. Whatever position that is taken, unless you decide in this, confected punditry game to come out with a very black and white prediction of what's going to happen, that it sits at like one end of the spectrum, and it comes off, you lose. Like someone will have a crack at you.
Yeah.
So
I would say upper thigh.
Inside, inner. Or outer.
That would hurt. On the foot, foot apparently hurts the most.
Really?
Yeah, like narrow, bare skin. No one in this office has any ink. Trent, no.
Yeah.
But I understand that the foot is
I think Dylan
painful.
does, actually.
Dylan. Yeah. Well, I think
Dylan does on his inside forearm.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. He's got a sleeve, remember?
I forgot about that, yeah. Well, that'll just about do, I think, for this week. It's a bumper week.
It's a bumper show.
It's a bumper show.
This is the only episode where both sets of fans are going to be listening to the show.
Oh, God.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, sorry for everything that's been said. But, I guess...
But it's right.
But I guess we'll find out.
Yeah. Well, no, it's correct. Yeah.
Well,
don't...
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
See you later.